All right, I think we're good to go.
Good.
Speak.
Yo.
Yes.
Testing.
All right, we are good.
Good.
Sorry about that, y'all. Unforeseen technical difficulties, but we are here. Thanks for joining us today. Facemask Fantasy, you already know. Start sit stream today.
Let me drop the link in our Discord.
Awesome.
For our friends over there.
Yeah, let me reset up this poll.
We're good to go now?
I believe so, yes. I believe so. Everything's looking good on the VU meter. New Jerus, if you could please let us know if we're good right now. Can you hear both of us?
Yeah, let
Nick,
me know.
your camera just went off.
Damn it.
Yo, today. But what's going on, New Jerusalem? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. Greg Z, you too. Good to see you.
I think I'm fine now.
And we will go back and look at the old streams chat before we start looking at the new streams chat, just so we make sure that we get every question. So let's just get into it, man. Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's ready for another Sunday of football. First question here on the old chat. Greg Z, Kareem Hunt or Brian Robinson this week? There's a tear break for me. I think it's still Kareem Hunt.
Still Kareem Hunt for
with
one more
no
week.
Carson Wentz. I mean, it's Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke.
It's hard to trust anybody in that offense.
Yep. You're downgrading everyone.
And
awesome.
Cameron B, what's going on, man? Is CMC worth starting if he suits up? Absolutely, dude.
You have to fire him up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to fire him
Now,
up.
I think some of the opportunities for him will go down, but the efficiency will go way up. And he is pretty much a sure thing to be a top 2 running back in fantasy on a week-to-week basis. And yeah, we gotta talk about this CMC. I know you went live, and much appreciated. You went live when the news dropped about CMC. Mm-hmm. Went live for about an hour, so much respect. But huge news. Biggest trade of the season so far for sure.
Without question.
Yeah.
49ers gave up significant capital to acquire him. Rico, I'll finish my thought, but appreciate the super.
Oh, thank you, man. Much appreciated.
So with McCaffrey, and then we'll talk about it. With McCaffrey, it's clear the 49ers have made their investment for the next 2.5 seasons. Look at the capital that they gave up. 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. I think it's a conditional 5th that can become a 4th, or it might just be a straight 5th. Either way, significant capital for the 26-year-old playmaker.
Yep.
Who can do so much and whose floor just got a significant, but actually, his ceiling just got a significant boost. So he was top 3 before the trade. He's top 3 with a clear path to the overall RB1 finish. This week, it was
the best offense for him to go to.
Yeah.
If he was to choose a landing spot, or if we were to choose a landing spot for a player, CMC to San Fran is a match made in heaven.
Yup.
So, yeah, I mean, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. For the second part of your question, Cameron, should I start Kareem Hunt at RB2 and flex Nyheim Hines, or stick with CMC?
No.
You're sticking with CMC. Saquon and CMC. Roll with Saquon and CMC. If CMC isn't going, go with Kareem Hunt.
No.
Damon Luce, wide receiver 1 and 2. And do we want to just get to the super real quick?
Sure.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rico. Much appreciated.
Rico, who can you drop? Who can you drop to pick up Higbee? Because I am interested in picking him up. Who can you drop?
Yeah, he's currently the tight end 8. You want that guy in your squad.
Yeah, who are the last 2 or 3 guys on your bench? Who are the last 2 or 3 guys on your bench? Let us know.
Yeah, the tight end 8, and that's with in week 6 putting up 1.7 points.
Yeah.
So, and that's in a TE premium league, so it was even less for you if you didn't get if you're not in tight end premium, but he's absolutely worth the pickup. Absolutely. Yep. But thank you very much, Rico.
Yep.
Damon Luce, wide receiver 1 and 2, and a flex. Chase, Waddle, Amon-Ra, Swift, Ramondre, Damian Pierce.
I mean, Yeah, you can't really. Can't really go.
Chase.
Yeah, Chase.
Amon-Ra with DJ Chark on IR. Should be fully healthy. I think it's Chase over us. I think Waddle's fine.
Waddle's fine.
He's questionable, but he's fine.
Waddle, you also have to fire up.
But I mean, it's got Swift there too. Like,
I would.
So it's Chase, Waddle, and Swift for you.
I guess because you have those. Yeah. Well, what is Damian Harris's status?
Damian Harris is playing.
Okay.
He's suiting up. He's playing. So everybody out there, if you add Damian Harris, he's okay to put in your lineup this week.
Yeah.
With Mac Jones back too. Yeah.
So then I guess Swift over Stevenson.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Chase, Waddle, and Swift is what you're going with?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back to Amon-Ra, but Waddle's just been killing it. Waddle's and that's with backup quarterbacks and backup to the backup quarterbacks. Waddle is currently, last I checked, he was a top 10 wide receiver. Yeah, he's wide receiver 7 right now. Mm-hmm. So you're starting that guy. Even though Amon-Ra is the same caliber of player. You're starting Chase and Waddle and Swift. Mm-hmm. All right, so now over to the this streams chat. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties. What's going on, Mookie the Wizard? Good to see you.
Thanks for the confirmation.
Absolutely. Sad J, good to see you. What's going on,
Jay?
man? You're considering trading JT straight up for Justin Jefferson in standard. Current wide receivers are Gabe Davis and Amari Cooper. Sure. Running backs are Aaron Jones, Ramondre, Damian Harris, Kenneth Walker, ETN, and Jamal Williams.
Sure, yeah, do it. Sure.
Yeah, you got the depth at running back to sustain and be fine.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade for you.
I mean, yeah, it's JT is a little bit more expendable for you to complete the trade. It's a top player for a top player, and you're getting a top player that's at the position that's a little bit more of a need for you. So yeah, do it.
I like that.
Don't worry about Aaron. Don't worry. I mean, Aaron Jones and Amon-Ra can be a fallback option, but I would go for Justin Jefferson. Might as well.
Yeah, shoot for the moon.
Right.
Shoot for the moon. And yeah, that's a great fallback option, but shoot for the moon.
Yeah,
New Jerusalem.
Start with the JT one. Yep,
yes.
Would be fun.
Yep. New Jerusalem got to start 2 full PPR. Antonio Gibson, Chase Edmonds, Justice Hill, or Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I guess Edmonds with Tua back, and
I would rather Justice Hill than Hubbard or Gibson right now with the quarterbacks that they're playing with.
Yeah, I mean, Gibson's a tier break as far as talent, but he appears to have, I don't know what he did, but it appears he fell out of favor. I mean, Ron Rivera did say after the Thursday game last week that they intended to get him more involved. Could be true.
But 26% of snaps after playing 32% of snaps in a game where Brian Robinson wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Like in week 5, 32% of snaps in the game where Brian Robinson played in that game. But if you go back even further than that, week 2 and week 3, 44% of snaps and 41% of snaps. He's been going in the wrong direction all year. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been bad, and there's nothing like recently as far as a trend to fall back on. So sure, Edmonds, and just roll the dice on Justice Hill. I know Gus Edwards just got activated. Pick him up if he's still out there. Might as well. But yeah, first game back, I'll take a chance on Justice Hill. Yeah,
he's not a ceiling play, but out of the options that you have, he's probably he's the second best for this week. Mm-hmm. Greg Z got another question: Mooney or London for wide receiver 2?
Mooney.
You think so?
The Falcons. It's not a London thing. It's a game.
I haven't looked at what London's been doing.
It's been quiet because they're not throwing the ball. The Falcons are running the ball 35, 40 times a game and throwing it 14, 15, 16 times a game. It's just a complete lack of usage.
You would think his usage would have gone up with no Cordell Patterson, but it's gone down.
They've gone full 1940s. What the Falcons have. They're running the ball 35 times a game. London's
and Mooney is trending up 12 targets last week.
Now look, I guess that could change on the road in Cincinnati against a good offense. Maybe Atlanta can't just get away with the 35 rushing attempts, 40 rushing attempts, but it's also to their credit, it's been working. So they're going to try for as long as they can to run the ball. So London might get some second half work, like if they're trailing, but it's just a hard situation to trust right now. So I think I would go Mooney.
Mooney coming up a 12 target week. Yeah,
and
smart.
It's not a great matchup with the Patriots. But it's two low volume passing offenses. And right now, one is a little more clearly running even more than the other.
Yep.
It's not great, but kind of like, all right, Mooney, but it's like neither one is in a great situation.
And Winston, DeVarius, Mostert, Bateman, Judy, Brian Robinson. Pick one.
Bateman, if he plays.
You're not playing Judy. You're not playing Judy with Brett Rippin at quarterback.
Might be an upgrade.
I'm not willing to go there.
It might be an upgrade. I'm just saying that.
No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. It's Mostert.
I'm not arguing Judy here. I'm just saying it might be an upgrade. How much worse could it be? That being said, Bateman if he plays, Mostert if Bateman sits.
It can get worse. It can get worse. But maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I would agree with your advice there. Enrico, thanks again for the super. Should you worry about Debo? Absolutely not. I mean, I think this is honestly what Debo would want in a perfect world. He wanted his running back reps to be scaled back a little bit. That was what his whole argument in the offseason was for. And honestly, it helps get the offense into skill position, into the red zone more. This deal, you got better players on your offense. Sometimes it helps everybody.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about Debo.
No,
this is a buy low situation for Debo and Kittle if you can work your way into that.
There's language in Debo's contract as far as incentives for rushing yard statistics. So not only do the 49ers continue to envision utilizing him in that role, he's now has a reason to go in there and want to do it. He can get paid more. Like, there are rushing yardage incentives built into his contract.
I didn't know that. Or I forgot about that.
So Debo's going nowhere. And I mentioned this when I went live Thursday night after the news. They're going to put McCaffrey and Debo in the backfield together. Not every snap, but it's going to happen. And then you can do one of four things, or at least one of four things. You can hand it off or throw it to either one of them out of the backfield. It's going to be very difficult to defend. That's four different scenarios. And then you could also just use them as decoys in that scenario.
I'm not worried about Debo at all. I'm trying to trade for Debo if I can. If anybody's worried about Debo.
Debo's going to be fine.
Anybody in this offense. I'm buying Ayuk. I'm buying Kittle.
I'm not going that far. But Debo, I agree with.
If CMC depresses the price on any of those guys, I'm buying them.
All right. I mean, it's still Jimmy G throwing them the football, so it's like, okay. I'm not going crazy, but because we also want to see this first, right?
True.
But Debo, is the one.
True. Everything within reason. But if you can find an opportunity to buy low here, you do that. Chuck, man, much appreciated. Thanks for being in here.
Thanks, Chuck.
Mookie the Wizard, Goff at Dallas or Tua at home versus Philly?
Goff. So it's Tua at home against Pittsburgh. Philly's on their bye week, and I would play Tua.
Would you?
I would play Tua. Oh, yeah. Goff on the road against, look, he does have a good offensive line, but, you're talking about some interesting high upside QB2 options. One's on the road, one's at home against a bad pass defense. I mean, just give me the safer scenario. And Tua's throwing it to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Tua.
You know me and Tua.
I know, but
it's more of a hate relationship than anything. But yeah, I guess Goff has just been real. Goff has just been real good this year.
But he's been much better at home than he's been on the road.
Fair.
Tua's at home for me, that's an equalizer. Like when you're talking about like QB2 options, take the guy at home. And I know it's his first game back, but at home, Pittsburgh is not good on defense.
If it was Philly, I guess I'd be more of a stickler. But since you're saying
if it was
is
Philly, then
Pittsburgh,
I'd have more of an argument for Goff. But it's
yeah,
not Philly.
If it's Pittsburgh, then Tua. Yeah.
Tua. Mm-hmm.
My gut was to say Goff because I don't want to play anybody playing Philly right now.
No, they look good.
Yeah.
Hold that defense. Don't drop them. And if somebody did, get them. Find a way to get them.
Yeah, I mean, the rookies are coming through. Darius Slay is amazing. Chauncey Gardner
everywhere.
Johnson is.
They have talent at all three levels.
Yeah.
Good talent and good depth at all three levels.
You want so you'd have to drop your defense or your kicker.
Nah, okay.
Three bench spots. It's a big money league. And
you have
Pitts.
You can't drop Pitts. You can't.
Can you try to hammer out a deal, like a 2-for-1 tonight, and then pick up Higbee? Like,
probably not. I feel like most leagues have a waiting period for trades, and
and I guess
point of no return. Unless obviously anybody could be different. If you can execute a trade before the games tomorrow, if your league allows for that, then I don't know. See if anybody wants Pitts and Robinson for a running back upgrade, and then pick up Higbee.
And I mean, I know Pitts hasn't been great, but somebody's gonna be willing to buy in on that talent. So
he's still a name, and if you attach a Brian Robinson to it, you might be able to get a decent running back.
Yeah, that would be what I would advise.
Yeah,
in that situation. KC Royals, should I pick up J.K. Dobbins on waivers, or is he not really worth it? You should pick him up if he's on waivers. If he's free, pick him up.
Can you IR him? If not, tell your commissioner to add IR spots. But then it's just who's the last couple people on your bench. And I guess maybe that would be helpful. That would probably be helpful just as a blanket statement, guys. This not just for KC Royals, but for everybody. Like, if you have a question about somebody to pick up, let us also know your options as far as dropping. Like, who can you drop? Who are you looking at dropping? That would help us. That would go a long way, because then we have some clarity on your situation.
Yeah, I mean, for the majority of situations, we do want to know the context to give you the best answer possible. But I mean, J.K. Dobbins, he has shown 20-point upside this year against a good defense in Buffalo. Now, I know he was assisted by Josh Allen throwing picks and giving them a short field a couple of times, but he still showed 20-point upside in fantasy, playing against a really good rush defense, probably one of the best in the league. So I still want him, and they're going to use this opportunity to get him healthy for a playoff push for free. I'm willing. I want J.K. Dobbins on my squad. What's that?
We missed Fabian just saying hello. What's going on, Fabian?
Oh, Fabian, what's happening? Sorry about that.
What's happening? And then Wentworth, should you start Everett or Njoku this week?
Everett, no Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen coming back, maybe on a pitch count.
Yeah, revenge game against Seattle. He played for the Seahawks last year. The season didn't exactly go as planned. Njoku, who are the Browns playing? The Ravens on the road. I think. Yeah. Could be some weather conditions there.
I'd rather Gerald Everett. Njoku is a great play for anybody that has him, but
there's no precipitation. Yeah,
Everett.
I don't know. I feel like Njoku's been a little bit more consistent recently.
Yeah, but this is a game. I mean, the matchup.
The
narrative. No Josh Palmer, who had 12 targets last week. He's out. Yeah. Keenan Allen probably won't step right back in and get 12 targets himself.
Yeah, I'm good with Everett.
I think it's Everett. I like Njoku a lot, but the quarterback too, like just a little bit of a tear break.
Yeah.
Brissett kind of fell apart last week.
Yep.
Oh, Aquas, good to see you, man. Najee or ETN this week? Pierce is your RB1. ETN.
The Jags are playing The Colts? No, not the Colts. They're playing the Giants, I think. Yeah, they're playing the Giants at home. ETN's past 2 games, 10 carries, 86 yards last week, caught 2 balls for 22, 10 carries, 71 yards week 5, caught 3 for 43. Yeah, I guess ETN. Najee's like a boring floor play. And there's nothing scary about the matchup against the Dolphins.
If you have anything better than a low end RB2, I'm playing him over Najee, basically.
Yeah,
because that's what Najee is.
He gets you floor plays. Like last week, obviously 14 for 42 is not good, but he caught 2 balls for a score, only 7 receiving yards, but he did catch a touchdown. So
he's the RB24. So if you have anybody that's better than the lowest of the RB2s, I'm playing him.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing scary about this matchup. I will say that. 4th most rushing yards allowed Miami has. Now,
the last time he had a good matchup was against Cleveland in week 3, and he had 11 fantasy points. So he's just not a ceiling play. I'd rather play ETN.
Yeah. It's just that James Robinson is still a little more involved than like Jalen Warren is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I'm going ETN.
All right.
That beyond, you have Waller and Hurst decided to be big balls and dropped Hurts to start Juwan Johnson.
Wow.
All right.
He exploded.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I don't know where if D Linney's in here. He did shout that out on Tuesday. Also, I hope everybody started the Cardinals defense. Speaking of shout outs, I'll pat myself on the back.
There you go. Yeah, you were right on that one.
I hope y'all started the Cardinals defense.
No, a 20-point week last week for Juwan Johnson is good enough in the wasteland that is the tight end position right now. He's now tight end 12, just based off of one great week.
Yep.
There are worse plays to go for. So I like it, Fabian. I like it. Mm-hmm. Hope it works out. I've always been a fan of Juwan Johnson, coming in and making Adam Troutman expendable. Never saw that coming, but happened last year when Jameis was healthy early in the year, and it carried into this year because Troutman has done nothing, and now I think he's injured. He wasn't playing last week, right?
And he's out. Or he missed the Thursday night game. Yeah. So,
but nice Joe Harris, 2-part question, not 2-point question. 12-team PPR with no IR spot. Talk to your commissioner about that. Would you guys drop Dobbins? Your other running backs are CMC, Gibson, Herbert, and Henderson. Best players available are Renfro, Collins, Jones, Dallas, Peoples-Jones. Nah.
No.
Huntley, Hill, Jeff Wilson, Damian Williams. No.
Jeff Wilson might be viable tomorrow, but then after that, I wouldn't be. I think both he and Elijah Mitchell are essentially drops.
Yep. And second part of the question, you also need to start at RB2 and flex. Which 2 players would y'all start out of Gibson, Herbert, Nico Collins, Thornton?
Oh, nice, cool. Joe did play Arizona defense. Nicely done.
Respect.
Done. I think Casey Royals did as well. I think called that out in the Discord. So I know a couple people fired them up. So nicely done.
And keep following that logic every year or every week.
Every week, Thursday night, depending on the matchup, of course. There were lots of points scored Thursday night. Didn't see that one coming. But
nobody
still,
did. Andy Dalton career day.
What? And even still ended up throwing 2 pick sixes. So they came through despite the high point total. They came through. I mean, I guess you got to go with Thornton as your flex, and then probably Gibson. Nico Collins has a great matchup. It's just he is the hardest one to trust here.
I'm playing out of those options. I'm definitely playing Thornton.
I'm not expecting a ton, but
no, but they're using him in the run game. They're using him in the pass game. That's all, and now he gets a quarterback upgrade. That's all I need.
Actually, Nico past 2 weeks prior to the bye week, 4 for 65,
I guess
3 for 82.
Is this is full PPR? I'm playing both wide receivers.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I'm correcting myself. Collins, the 2 weeks prior to the bye week, was cooking, was heating up. It was on limited targets, 5 week 4, 6 week 5, but he turned those into 3 for 82 and 4 for 65 respectively. That's good. Those are good outputs. Yeah.
Yep.
Both
wide receivers, Joe.
Collins and Thornton. Screw it.
But good job
Those
on following Nick's
plays.
advice last week. This past work week or whatever with the defenses. Good job.
Pick up those Thursday night defenses, boys and girls.
KC Royals, who's the better running back, Drake or Gus Edwards, and who is fantasy relevant?
This week, Drake.
Yeah.
Probably for at least the next few weeks, Drake, because Gus Edwards is going to be working his way back. It's hard to say right now that at any point Gus Edwards is going to take this backfield over for the time that J.K. Dobbins misses, because he himself is coming back from a tough injury. Now, maybe Gus Edwards health-wise is in a better place than J.K. Dobbins. We don't know that yet. But for this week, Drake, I would say for at least the next couple weeks, Drake. But I wouldn't rule out Justice Hill. I'm also not putting all of my eggs into the Kenyon Drake basket, so to speak. This could be a situation where Justice Hill is the guy as soon as tomorrow or next week, and it's an unpredictable committee. But for now, Drake has the benefit of the doubt.
Drake, yes, for right now, Drake has the benefit of the doubt. I don't think we've ever seen Gus Edwards have to come in and get a full workload.
No, and they're not going to do that.
But he is the highest paid running back on that roster.
And the longest
tenured, and he's signed.
So he's going to have a role
another year after this. So yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's part of their game plan. Always has when he's healthy. Drake is the better start right now. Gus Edwards might be. I don't even know if it's gonna be Justice Hill. I think Gus Edwards might be by 2 weeks from now, week 9.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see.
But then it gets muddy again when Dobbins comes back, and then we're talking about a 4-headed monster, and it's just all right.
Which is probably looking likely for Dobbins at this point for the rest of the season. It's clear he's just not quite yet. And the Ravens are getting some decent contributions from other people. So unfortunately stock down on Dobbins, I would think, for the rest of the 2022 season.
And Sad J, what's that?
Let's keep it moving.
Sad J, you're very welcome. Thanks for chilling. Yeah. If the trade falls through, sit one running back in standard. Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre, or JT.
Ramondre.
It's Ramondre with Harris coming back.
With Harris back. Yep. And you can. Matt Ryan is a fine stream. Just because Garoppolo has McCaffrey, it's a coin flip. If you believe in the narrative, Garoppolo's going to throw a lot against Kansas City, and now he's got McCaffrey, so red zone numbers might have a good chance to go up. You can pick him up. I think Matt Ryan is fine too.
Yep. J Cross Country, what's going on, man? Should I start Bateman, Myers, Deontay, or Sutton in PPR? Deontay. Or keep Waddle in game.
Easy. Waddle, because then you can play Deontay if Waddle's out.
There you go. But Waddle should be playing.
Game. Yeah, Waddle for sure. But then you can pivot to Deontay if Waddle's out. Yep, easy call.
And JJ, someone dropped Melvin Gordon, but I already have. I'm guessing that's Latavius Murray, and you don't have another roster spot. Should I drop Murray for Gordon? What's the rest of your roster? What's the rest of your roster?
JJ.
Is there anybody else that you can be dropping? Because maybe it's a situation where I want both of the Denver guys to see how it really shakes out, because I'm not convinced that it is Latavius Murray going forward.
Yep.
Nemo, the nemesis. Oh
you guys are
man,
going up
yeah,
against each other.
Hey, good luck with no Josh Allen this week.
Yeah.
Fabian, you're done with McKenzie. You dropped him for Sky Moore.
We have a super. Want to get?
Oh, snap!
Let's put
I
a
didn't
pin
see
in that one. Mike,
thank you
gave us a
very
super.
much.
Thanks, Mike.
Trade Debo for AJ Brown full PPR.
I mean, it's probably pretty fair. That's a coin flip.
I'm pretty close to.
That's really close.
Because AJ Brown is kind of slowed down. He started off real hot. He's kind of slowed down of late, right?
I mean, he had a good game just this past week against the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, he did. 8 for 67 and 1 touchdown. Yep.
I mean, here's the thing. So with AJ Brown, he has no fewer than 7 targets in any game. He has he does have a 3 catch 32-yard performance, but outside of that, he has no fewer than 5 catches in every game. His bad week was week 5 against the Cardinals on the road. That one wasn't good. Other than that, at least 5 catches in every game, over 65 yards receiving in every game except for that week 5 game. He scored twice, and and there's another game where he has a 100-yard performance, 150+ yard performance. And the Eagles are just playing awesome on offense right now. It's just let's call a spade right now. Through near the halfway point of the season, the Eagles are a better offense than the 49ers, and Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, he is.
I think I say yes. And, I know, I don't want to show any bias or anything like that. I always try to keep this as level-headed and unbiased as possible.
No, I think you make the trade. I agree with you.
But the proof is in the pudding as far as the statistics, as far as the numbers. The Eagles are like the number 3 offense in the league. Jalen Hurts has a lot to do with that. They are throwing the ball exceptionally well. And, while I'm not worried about Debo, they did just add Christian McCaffrey. So the Eagles are not going to add a player of such, so that could make such a substantial impact as far as taking production away. The Eagles aren't going to make a trade like that. They might acquire somebody, but they're not. I think it's a fair bet.
They already made their trade like that.
Himself,
they already made their trade like that to get AJ Brown. Right.
It was AJ Brown.
Right. That's what I mean.
Go AJ. Meanwhile, McCaffrey is the one entering Debo's backfield and target share. So yeah. I would do it, Mike. I think I would do it.
Not to mention, at some point, they get Elijah Mitchell back, and he will be utilized to some extent. He will. Which further takes away a little bit of that Debo rushing upside. It does.
Yeah.
So, I would do that. And full PPR, go with the pure wide receiver over the guy that gives you a little bit of rushing upside.
I mean, Debo's going to have his monster weeks, but I think AJ is actually the one who's more consistent. 5 catches, over 60 receiving yards, two scores in 2 different games, and a third game with a 150-yard performance outside of one outlier week. Yeah, I would do it.
Yep. But thank you very much for the Superman. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for chilling.
All right, we got lots of questions in here. Whether you are new or you've been with us before, so you already know, we do go a bit into detail with each question, so we do take a little bit of time. We promise we will get to everybody. Please do not repeat your question or post it more than once. We will see it, unless you think we missed it. But
we did have an issue in a past live stream this past week where somebody's question just didn't get posted because of some issues with YouTube. So if you think that happened, do let us know, and we'll try to remedy it. But also just be aware that if we're 20 questions away from your question, it will take some time. But Fabian, I think it's okay to be done with McKenzie.
But you're not But Fabian, do not start DeAndre Carter over Travis Etienne.
No.
Do not do that.
No.
Do not do that. No, you have to play Etienne. He's one of your better players. And I know a lot of people are intrigued by Sky Moore. He is not a hold for me in redraft leagues. Maybe maybe next year or the year after.
Deion Jackson for Justice Hill and Burks for DeAndre Carter, who you're starting over ETN as a flyer.
Or you dropped Burks for DeAndre
You're done
Carter.
with McKenzie. I dropped him for Sky Moore.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Deion
have
Jackson
done that.
for Justice Hill.
I
and
wouldn't have done
Burks
that.
for DeAndre Carter.
That's fine, but I'm not starting DeAndre Carter over Travis Etienne.
I would rather have Deion Jackson than Justice Hill, unless you absolutely need somebody to start.
I mean, Taylor's back.
And I'd rather, yeah, but I do not think that Justice Hill presents a lot of upside.
That's fine. I just think he's got more of an opportunity than Deion Jackson now that Taylor's
Right,
back.
which is why I'm saying if you need somebody to start, then Justice Hill.
Yeah,
But if
then Justice
these
Hill.
are just pure like ride your bench type of dudes, I think I'd rather have Deion Jackson because I think he has more upside if something happened again to JT. Whereas, things are already happening to every Ravens running back, and Justice Hill is still a sub 10-point player at on average. But I think I'd rather have Burks than DeAndre Carter. And I'm not starting him over Etienne. Don't do it.
Yep. Greg, do not start. Melvin Gordon is really hard to trust right now. I would not play him over Kareem Hunt, who at least we know has his role.
Yep.
I can't.
And honestly,
I
Kareem
have no
Hunt's kind of
idea.
due for a Kareem Hunt week.
He had a good week. Week 5, he petered out week 6. So yeah, it's like if every other week is the logic with Kareem Hunt, then yeah, it should be a good week.
Nemo, start part 1 of the questions. TE start Hawkinson, Gucci
Hawk.
D, Greg Dulcich, or
Foster
Moreau,
Hawkinson.
who I do like,
Hawkinson.
but Hawkinson with no DJ Chark this week, or moving forward because he's on IR.
Yeah, and I would play. If Rashad Bateman is back, I would play Foster Moreau over Duvernay. If Bateman has to miss the game, then I'm fine taking a shot on Duvernay for big play potential.
Yeah, there's a reason why Foster Moreau is in the thumbnail of this live stream. I'm a big
Darren
fan of
Waller's
streaming Foster Moreau when Darren Waller is out. So he is a great swerve if you guys need to start at tight end this week. But to Nick's point, if Bateman is starting, for Moreau, if he's not, Duvernay.
Yep.
And Mookie, you are very welcome. Thanks for chilling.
Yeah, thanks, Mookie.
Fredo Sauce. Or Fredo Sauce. Sorry about that. Got offered Andrews, Godwin, and Singletary for your Debo, Hawkinson, and Juju 10-team full PPR.
Yes.
Andrews,
Smash
Godwin,
accept.
Singletary. I would like that. I would take that.
Smash accept.
Upgrade
Smash
on
accept.
upgrade at tight end. Slight downgrade at wide receiver, and you get a running back.
Not much, but you pick up a running back for an unusable wide receiver 3. Hell yeah, smash accept.
No, it's not much of a difference between Godwin and Debo, which is why I like that even more. Do it.
Right, it's not a huge difference. Yeah, man. Yeah, smash accept.
Matt C. Swift, easy. And Nemo is all aboard the Gus bus.
I mean, look,
I'm not deliberating too much. It's Swift.
No, it's Swift. Play Swift. On the road against the Cowboys, tough matchup, but you drafted him very high, and he's good. As far as Gus, I mean, look, it might take a couple weeks. We're gonna have to see how what his recovery looks like from his own ACL injury. Probably gonna get a little bit of time to get acclimated, reacclimated. But he's been effective. He's been productive for them in the past. Let's see if he can keep it up post-injury. Gus is
we haven't
solid NFL
seen
player.
him in a very long time.
It's been a while.
But I'm looking at past years' usage of Gus Edwards, and he only has 3 games in his career at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in his career where he has above a 50% snap share. Which means to me, I don't know if it's all aboard the Gus bus, because they do mix in other running backs. They've never used him super heavily. But if he's getting anywhere near a 50% snap share, which he should in coming weeks, I still like him for the next few weeks. But again, waters will be muddied as soon as Dobbins is healthy.
Yeah.
Pooks, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a minute. PPR, pick one: Brian Robinson, George Pickens, and Curtis Samuel.
Pickett's going to play. And
you
PPR.
Can't go Heineke, Curtis Samuel, or Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather, George Pickens.
Pickens, take a shot. Yep. We're probably going to have to throw a lot.
Yeah.
And Rico does have a waiting period for a trade. Okay. I would just then hold Pitts for the week. You can start negotiating if you want, because I did read down below you that Knox is also on waivers. I would start the negotiations tonight if someone's around and willing to talk shop on Pitts, and then you can just move. Move
also, like, I think people might be of the mind that, like, Higbee and Knox are on the wire. Why would I be giving up a ton for Pitts, who hasn't produced? You can throw it out.
You can try. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
Try. But you might have, if not, but then in that scenario, you might be stuck with Pitts, and I can't advise, doing anything other than continuing to play Pitts.
True.
It hurts, but you got to do it.
Get Murray or either of the Panthers running backs. That's Chuba Hubbard and Donta Foreman.
Foreman. I don't know what the Broncos backfield breakdown is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. Apparently, Nathaniel Hackett said earlier in the week he had a quote-unquote good conversation with Melvin Gordon, and Gordon's going to start this week against the Jets. That's cool. He started last week too. Technically, not that he literally started last week. That resulted in 3 carries. No snaps in the second half. Like, what was that all about? Like, I don't trust this guy. I don't trust the Broncos right now. I don't trust this offense. This offense is broken. This coach is lost. I don't trust that situation. I guess outside of Cortland Sutton, who you can fire up as a wide receiver 2-ish this week.
I think even he's more of a wide receiver 3. I don't trust Brett Rippon. But I'm going Foreman too, because
I'll go Foreman, I guess.
In 3 out of the 5 starts that he had last season filling in for Derrick Henry, he had 100-yard games. And not 100 yards from scrimmage, 100 rushing yards. And that was splitting work with Dontrell Hilliard, who was in his own right doing pretty well at that time too. So I think Donta Foreman is a little bit underrated. And we talked about Donta Foreman all offseason as a guy that is a stash hold type of player for exactly this type of situation, or, CMC getting injured. I like Donta Foreman. Go Donta Foreman.
Yep. KC, as far as the Dobbins pickup, if you don't need a starter, then I guess I would drop Gus Edwards to stash Dobbins, because you already have Foreman and you have Madison, who are your kind of lottery tickets. Gus Edwards is a solid player, but not as much of a lottery ticket as those two. So I guess I'll just drop Edwards to stash Dobbins.
Yes, because if your team is good, then you want a player for the playoffs because you're expecting to make the playoffs. I don't think Gus Edwards really helps you in the playoffs. I think J.K. Dobbins might help you in the playoffs.
Maybe.
He's more of a bet than Gus Edwards is at this point. Is all I'll be willing to put money on. So yeah. Gus Edwards for Dobbins, do it.
And Eric, that question did get posed a little earlier, and I guess we kind of sort of answered it. He's an interesting stash for now with Dobbins on the shelf, and we have no guarantees, of course, that Dobbins, is he going to stay on the timeline that was first reported? We don't know. Like, what is the severity of this injury? He's talking, it's another surgery for him. So, like, sure, Gus Edwards could get in there and have a role, but he's never really been in a situation where he was promoted or earned the 1A role that is for now available in this backfield.
Ever.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a very solid. That's not to say he's a bad player. He's a rock solid player. He's a, really good NFL running back. I think he's averaged around 5 yards a carry for his career, obviously in a change of pace role.
3 straight seasons.
Yeah, change of pace
700 yards. Still. Yep.
Yeah, he did it. That's rock solid. But as a part of a rotation, never as, in a 1A. So interesting stash, worth a pickup. Could be an RB3 bye week fill-in, maybe in a few weeks. Maybe.
Yep. I agree with everything you said about him. Have been a fan of Gus Edwards, but
I love Gus Edwards. He's a great NFL player.
But it's clear they want him in a committee.
Yeah.
But KC Royals followed your advice. I think you mentioned that earlier. So good job, KC, and good job, Nick, on shouting that out earlier in the week because it worked.
Yep.
And Rico, should you bite the bullet or should you bite the bullet and drop the Jets defense to pick up Higbee or number one in the league?
Don't take a
continue
zero
to be number one in the league.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, keep fighting for the number one. Get that bye week.
You don't absolutely need Higbee on your team.
No. Play to win for week 7, and that's it.
D. Lenny, good to see you.
What's up, D. Lenny?
Thanks for chilling, man.
Nice call on Juwan Johnson.
Yes, very nice
call on Juwan Johnson.
And he says right back at you, nice call on Arizona D.
Wow, appreciate that. I missed that.
Down below it.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I mean, they gave up way too many points, but 2 pick sixes is 2 pick sixes. They see that I guess that was my point. Defenses can stupidly do well on Thursday night. Like, they don't even mean to. They gave up 31 points, but 2 pick sixes. That's got to be a first.
You fall into a pick six if
That's got to be a first. Yep. That's got to be a first. They played they played stupidly well or terribly good, however you want to phrase it. Those Thursday night defenses, guys, keep an eye on them. But yeah, Juwan Johnson, big time smash. And he started him in 2 different spots. He blew up.
No Michael Thomas, no Jarvis Landry. Olave's out there getting 14 targets, I think, again, or 12 at least.
Yeah, he's awesome. But Arizona, like every single year, it's like anywhere you look, it's like who are the worst defenses against tight ends? Arizona, bottom 3. It's like death taxes on that. They stink. It's like an organizational thing. They suck against tight ends every year. So yeah, they are absolutely worth the target.
And Dr. Muskie, who do I put at flex? Dalton Schultz, DJ Moore, or Donta Foreman? Schultz? Schultz with Dak back?
I want to see Schultz for a week. I know it's a great matchup against Detroit.
He's healthy. Dak is back. I think I go Dalton Schultz. I'm not trusting DJ Moore, and I love what Donta Foreman did last season, but it's also clear that the Titans are a better run blocking and rushing team than the Panthers, hands down. And they are going to try to mix in Hubbard. And it is PJ Walker again for another week. I think I just go Schultz. If he gives me a 0 and Donta Foreman gets you 10, hey, I'm sorry, but I think Dalton Schultz can get you. I think Dalton Schultz has a good game this week. Or a better game than those other 2. So I'm going Dalton Schultz. I think we're split on this one.
Yeah, I think I'd roll the dice on Foreman. I want to see Schultz first. He has been, I know it's been Cooper Rush and not Dak, but he's been remarkably quiet this year. Schultz has. Foreman has a new opportunity at least.
Yeah, he does. You can at least say that.
Yeah.
I just like now Schultz has been remarkably quiet, but in the one game where he looked all right, he looked good. Dak was playing, and he got, I think, 9 targets in that game. So I'm going back there. All right. Going back to Schultz.
Okay.
But we are split on that, so you're gonna have to make a decision for yourself. But Val's the GOAT. McCaffrey and Lazard for Kenneth Walker and Cooper Kupp. Who wins?
Walker and Kupp.
Yeah, but it is close. But Walker and Kupp.
It's close. But I guess Walker and Kupp, because Lazard's been money, but it's Cooper Kupp we're talking about.
And Kenneth Walker is a top 12 running back, at least in my estimation, on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah,
he's 12, but he's top 12. Lazard is not a top 12 wide receiver.
He's at least top 15, and that might be a little low. I mean, Rashad Penny is gone. Yeah. The Kupp side. Not that I'm crazy about giving up McCaffrey. But to get both of those pieces, then sure. If you're getting McCaffrey and Lazard, then I would maybe keep Kupp and Walker. Yeah, I would say the Kupp and Walker side. It's close, but the Kupp and Walker side.
And Val's the GOAT. Will Bateman ever become a wide receiver 2? I mean, he was through 4 weeks, even though he had 2 weeks of dud weeks. I mean, 12 points and 18 points week 1 and week 2.
He's had some injury issues this year a little bit, missed the past few games.
And he's never going to be a hyper-targeted wide receiver.
His opportunities are a little less in this Ravens offense. But, I mean, a guy with 4.3 speed at his size, you like his chances any given week. He's gonna have his bust weeks, but, I mean, his upside is worth rolling the dice on.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will become a wide receiver 2. Will it happen soon? I mean, we need to see him healthy.
Yeah.
We need to see him healthy first, and that's kind of it. We need to see him healthy. But I think he will, for my money. Delaney Pickens or Damian Harris in the flex, half PPR. Both have a Sunday night and Monday game, so we'll see if you need a floor or ceiling.
I would say if you need the ceiling, Pickens.
And if you need the floor, Harris.
Yeah. Yep. Pickens does better with Pickett, at least from the limited sample size that we've seen so far. And Pickett's going to play, and Pittsburgh's probably going to have to throw a lot in this game. So Pickens is the upside play. But Harris is probably has a bit more of a floor.
Yep.
Nothing scary about the Bears.
And Fabian, who's got the easier schedule out of Debo and AJ Brown? I think it's Debo.
It's AJ Brown because the Eagles' schedule this year is weak.
I mean, I think it's Debo. You look at the next. Let's just compare the next few games.
All right,
KC, LA Rams, Chargers, Arizona, New Orleans, Miami, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Arizona. A lot of those games are shootouts.
Nothing scary about those games.
Whereas, Brown at least has to, deal with some good defenses in there.
Tougher matchups by the numbers.
Yeah. So I don't know if that really factors in too much for me because they're studs. Yeah, but if you do have to choose an easier schedule out of the two, it is Debo.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that factors in for me with wide receiver ones, because wide receiver ones are wide receiver ones because they're bulletproof.
Because they're matchup proof. Yeah, you start them every week and you don't think about it.
Yep.
So, yeah, feel better about AJ.
Iron, good to see you, man. What's going on?
What's up, Iron?
Full PPR, Pittman or ETN?
I think you could go back to the well with Pittman now.
Pittman after the week he just had?
Yeah, I don't.
12 targets,
I'll
I think.
Those points. 13.
16. Ugh. 13 receptions.
Oh, right. 13 catches, 16 targets. Yeah.
Pittman.
Will he? I mean, we can't predict he'll get that again, but that's production I'm chasing. That's production I'm chasing. Yep. I like ETN a lot, but I mean, James Robinson still mixes in.
Yep. No, I'm chasing that. Because it worked for him. Indianapolis has been inept until they force feed Michael Pittman and give Alec Pierce some run, and look what happens. I think they're going to continue to do that. Val's the GOAT. You're 5-1. Very good job. 10-man.
So that's his lineup. I mean, if you can get Walker and Kupp for McCaffrey and Lazard, knowing you also have Swift and Dameon Pierce, then yes, do it.
Yep.
Yeah, Walker and Kupp, I would do that trade. That's the trade that you should do. I know you asked right below, what trade should you make? That trade is the one you posted earlier is the one you should do.
Nemo, is AJ Brown worth Kenneth Walker and Amari Cooper? Which side are you on? I think I'd rather have Kenneth Walker and Amari Cooper. I love AJ Brown.
But I would rather have the package.
But you're trading a top 12 wide receiver for a top 12 running back and a wide receiver who's at least a mid-tier wide receiver in his own right in Amari Cooper. Plus, once Deshaun Watson comes back, watch out.
Right. I would rather have Walker and Cooper. Fredo, that's a repost. Remember, you guys don't have to repost. We will get to everybody. And we got a lot of questions to get to.
Rico, thoughts on Jameson Williams and Wan'Dale Robinson? Who would you rather have?
I mean, Wandale's playing now.
If you need to start somebody now.
You need a guy, then Wandale. If you're 5-1 and chilling, and your receiver options are obvious, and you want a potential stash for your stretch run, then JMO. That's pretty much all. Like, if you want a depth piece that can help you potentially as soon as tomorrow, Wandale.
Yep.
Yeah.
And D-Lenny, you're getting crazy this week. You're starting Pickett, Wandale, and Juwan on a team. And Juwan outscored D-Hop, who you're playing against. So very good job.
Exploded. Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, very good job. But, I mean, D-Hop did pretty well in his own right.
D-Hop came back, had over 100 yards receiving. He is going to be a nice piece for your push, depending on what your situation is.
And Nemo, Atlanta. I'm guessing this is defense. Atlanta might be stream-worthy these next few weeks with Carolina twice and Chicago. Yeah. It
might be, I always am a little dicey with average options on the road. But, yeah, the home game against Carolina and and anywhere against Chicago, honestly. Yeah. Yep.
And you helped out Iron with the Eno Benjamin suggestion. So if James Conner ain't playing, Eno's a must start.
Eno's a must hold, even if Conner comes back.
Yes, that too. But in terms of starting him, you're starting him whenever James Conner is out.
Yep, easy call. Keontae Ingram looked pretty damn good, though. Gotta say.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he hadn't looked good prior to that, but last week he looked good.
Nice game.
Touchdown, right? He scored a touchdown early on.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Fabian Carter is going to be the wide receiver 2 for the Herbert offense, and you'd rather try that than a 9-pointer from ETN. Like,
I wouldn't play that game.
I don't know if he's going to be the wide receiver 2 for that Herbert offense. He's the wide receiver 3 because Keenan Allen's coming back, and he might be the
Keenan Allen's questionable. It's not confirmed.
Well, then it's Everett over DeAndre Carter too.
Yeah, I would trust Everett, and I would just expect Eckler gets like all the work he can.
Then I know it's a different position group, but I'm counting him as a receiving option, not a wide receiver.
Without question.
But, I'd rather play ETN, and that's not.
Do your thing. I'm not gonna. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna twist your arm as far as what you want to do with your lineup. I couldn't bring myself to do that.
Yep. OF Dubs, what's happening, man? Should you grab Foreman off waivers? Yeah.
Sure. Depends on who you can drop, but sure.
Yep. And if you have a question of whether or not you should drop this guy or that guy for Foreman, let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
Fabian, you're in your first year, so I don't know if it's better to stream different defenses or hold on to one and you have the Ravens. Well, it's more of if you have an elite option, you hold on to them, and if you don't have an elite option, then you stream, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. They play the Browns this week, and Baltimore does. They've been okay. They've been a decent defense. You can try it, but it's not a great matchup by the numbers. Who do the Ravens have next week? Are they worth it? And then they're on the road for a short week in Tampa Bay. They're going to pop off because it's Thursday night. I guess.
Yeah, and they're a top 12 defense, Baltimore, but they are 12.
You might want to look for a better matchup because the next 2 weeks are a little tough.
But they are giving you.
They're giving you
plus weeks every week, with the exception of the Week 4 game against Buffalo, and we would have called that.
Yeah, I mean, once 2 turnovers, only 1 sack. So obviously, not great, but only giving up 23 points. They didn't totally sink you, but obviously it wasn't like the best week.
No, they're not the type of defense that's going to get you 3 points, but they're not. I don't think they're the type of defense that's going to get you 20.
They're like smack in the middle. They have a turnover every, they have at least 1 turnover in every game, so that's good. Actually, they have at least 2 turnovers in every game except for 2. So, pretty good.
So, in answer to your question, Fabian, I think I'd roll with them, and then I think you can stream during the bye week, and because they're not a top 8 defense, you'll probably be able to pick them up again, or at that point you can choose to stream, and we can help you figure that out too. D. Lenny Foreman is a desperation play this week versus Tampa. So he's the number 2 ranked run defense, but he's an RB2 on an NFL team who should see 60% of snaps. We would agree.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what this, we don't know how this backfield's going to unfold. We have to keep in mind that Carolina, whether they admit it or not, is in full evaluation mode. Chuba was a 4th-round rookie for them last year, whereas Donta Foreman, I think, is 27 years old.
Yep.
So, and then they have, for whatever it's worth, they have Raheem Blackshear, who they might give a look here and there to. Probably not at least this weekend, and it's a long shot or whatever, but they're in full evaluation mode. We don't know how this backfield's gonna shake out. Foreman is the safest bet though to get some work, at least for now. But Chuba's probably gonna mix in. Let's see if he improved in year 2.
I mean, he has improved in year 2 based off of the little that we've seen him this year. 3.6 yards per attempt last year, which was pretty bad. Now it's up to 5.7. So, but it's only on 6 rushes because, of course, CMC was getting a ton of work. So you can almost throw that out the window.
Not a sample size, yeah.
For my money, I do think Donta Foreman is going to take at least 60% of the snaps here. I don't think it's going to be Hubbard, but the team is still going to see what they have.
Right. That's all. That's just my point. They drafted him last year. They're in full evaluation mode.
Daggers. Good to see you. Half PPR start 3. Ayuk and Njoku, Pearson, Mostert.
Ayuk
and Njoku. PPR. Half PPR. Mostert.
I guess Mostert. Yeah. I guess I would sit Pierce.
Yep.
Ayuk's the more proven player, and Njoku's on a very solid run right now, a very consistent run right now, and Mostert has starting RB opportunities. Yeah. Ayuk and Njoku Mostert. I'm fine with that.
And Nemo thinks that Blackshear might be the running back to own.
Yeah. I mean, in dynasty leagues, absolutely worth a look. In redraft,
yeah, you picked him up in a dynasty league. Didn't you? Yeah.
We have 30-person roster spots. I was able to drop a couple receivers that hadn't seen the field yet this season, so it's like, why not? But Foreman's first man up here, and it's going to be Foreman and Chuba forming some form of a 2-man committee. I would expect Foreman is the 1A of that, but again, we can't sit here and definitively say we know what the breakdown's going to be.
But sometimes us as fantasy nerds, we like to jump at, oh man, Jordan Mason, he's going to be the RB1, and we're not seeing what's right in front of us in Jeff Wilson. We're like, oh my God, the undrafted free agent Jordan Mason. So I think that might be what we might be seeing with any Blackshear hype. He's an undrafted free agent.
Sure.
Not too many of those guys really pop off. Does he have a chance ahead of him? Sure. But I don't want to get ahead of myself and say that he is going to have a role ahead of a guy that they drafted in the fourth round just last year, and Donta Foreman, who, again, has looked good in spot duty over the past few seasons.
Right. Blackshear also just might not be ready. This could just be, Foreman at least is a player capable of contributing at the NFL level right now. But
and D. Linney with the fun facts. Niners run blocking is 24th, and the Panthers are 5th. And Foreman had 300-yard games.
Wheels up on Foreman. Yep. Wheels up on Foreman.
Foreman looked good, real good last year in spot work.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But I'm not really factoring in run blocking into how good CMC is going to be.
Yeah.
I think he supersedes that.
Yeah.
Odie, what's happening? Hunt, Dillon, or Gallup for the flex? I think it's Hunt or Dillon.
Gallup against the Lions with Dak back, if it's full PPR.
Is it full PPR?
I'm asking if it is. I'm gonna just if we don't know what the scoring is, I guess I'll just give both thoughts if I have them. If it's full PPR, I might swing the roll the dice on Gallup, who caught a touchdown from Cooper Rush at home a couple weeks ago. He had a bad game against the Eagles, but lots of people are doing that. And again, Cooper Rush himself was awful. I kind of like Gallup in a great matchup at home against Detroit with Dak back. If it's standard, then maybe, Dillon's got a little bit more of an argument. And if it's half PPR, maybe Kareem Hunt. Honestly, maybe Hunt and standard as well. Hunt and standard or half PPR, Gallup in full PPR.
What is going on with Dillon, bro? Like
it's a weird. The
I want to say just go with Dillon, but looking at what he's done,
you can't. I mean, he's involved, and he's giving you like the rushing yards, but he's not scoring. He's just not scoring.
6 targets last week.
Right, like he's involved, but he's not scoring.
And it amounted to 10 rushes, and it amounted to 7.2 fantasy points. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dillon, man. But I guess
he's getting good yardage.
My
right?
knee jerk is to say Dillon, but looking at what he's doing, I can't recommend that.
Right. But he is involved. 14 touches. He had an anomaly game in London week 5, but like prior to that. 18 touches, 14 touches, 19 touches, 15 touches. Like it's very clear. He has a very clear role. He's just not scoring. So touchdowns are volatile. I guess at that point, maybe if it's standard scoring, you go with you roll the dice with Dillon against the Taylor Heineke led Washington team. But I'm curious about Gallup in full PPR. I think he does well with Dak returning tomorrow against a bad Lions defense.
And I think we're split because I think I want to go Hunt here. So
in all formats,
Gallup hasn't had like a big week yet. Now I know Dak hasn't been back, so that definitely factors in.
He did catch a touchdown a couple weeks ago. It was only for two catches, 24 yards, but it was a touchdown.
Okay, I guess in full PPR, Gallup is fine, but in anything else, I think I'm going Hunt.
I think, now he's in his 4th game back from the injury. He's about a month-ish removed, and his starting quarterback is back. Nothing scary about the Lions. I think this is potentially the week where you see him give you a little bit more.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yep. Could be.
Yeah.
So I think we're still kind of split on that, but I guess we agree where if it's full PPR, we're going Gallup. But if it's anything else, I want Hunt. If it's anything else, I think Nick wants Gallup in half PPR, Dillon in standard is what you said?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And Nemo, I think you're going to have to do the looking for him yourself, man.
Yeah, he's banged up, and I don't know. It's not good over there for the Saints.
It's another one of those years, just like the past few seasons, where we'll see him once and he'll look great, and then he'll disappear for 6 games. If not more. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Richie Rich, start Hawkinson or Pitts?
I'll go Hawkinson.
I think Hawkinson this week.
The Lions are going to throw the ball.
And I love Pitts, but Hawkinson's the tight end 8 right now, and Pitts ain't. And that was the tight end 8 with the bye week in there. So he had a 0 in there factoring in. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
And this thing just reset. I lost my place. All right.
We're at Zachary Hughes' question. Got that one?
Yes. Yep. There we go. The Cup, Josh Allen, owner in my league, has no running backs, and you have Saquon, Henry, Fournette, Rashad White, Swift, Jamal Williams. Who would you trade, or who should I trade for either of them? Your QB is Burrow, and your wide receivers are Debo and Amon-Ra.
I mean, it's gonna take one of the big names, right? Like Swift is probably. I don't know if Swift gets it done right now. You might have to offer Henry. You're talking about Cooper Kupp, who's the wide receiver 2 on the season. Josh Allen is the head and shoulders quarterback of fantasy football right now. I mean, if you want Allen, you're going to have to offer Burrow and I don't know if Burrow and Swift gets it done for Allen. You can try.
Burrow and Henry would probably be the.
Burrow and Henry is going to have to be the deal for Allen, and then for Kupp, I mean, maybe you can offer Amon-Ra and Swift, but I don't know if that's going to get it done. You could try that. Since you have Saquon,
yeah, but then your running backs are Saquon, Fournette, Rashad White, Jamal Williams. I don't know if I'd like I'm making one of those deals. I'm not making both.
Yeah, don't make. Yeah, I'm saying like do one of those two. Don't do both.
Right.
And you're fine with Burrow, so maybe try to do the Cup one, because I mean both are going to be really expensive. Yeah, Burrow and Henry's probably going to be what it costs for Allen, and then for Cup, I would start with Amon-Ra and Swift, and I don't know how much higher I go if they say no to that.
Yeah, I think you might end up just be making that Josh Allen deal, because I feel like
too much.
I feel like your team is going to be super uneven then if you do the Cup deal.
Yeah.
But if you do the Burrow deal, I think you'll be all right. Burrow and Henry for Josh Allen. I think you'll end up being all right.
Be what it costs. I mean, or you can try,
because you still have Saquon, Fournette, Swift, White, Williams,
right,
and then Debo and Amon-Ra.
Yeah,
I think that's the deal you make. Try to get Josh Allen, man.
Yeah, you can try to do that. There you go.
D. Linney, Dalton Schultz with a tight end 3 last year and had 173 points and half PPR. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can spot start him. Yeah.
He's a little bit more than a spot start for me, and he's less than a must start every week. He's in that middle area where I'm willing to roll with it for a few weeks to see how it goes, because I think he could work himself into must start territory, because tight end is such a wasteland after the top 3 tight ends in the league. So yeah. Get him off of waivers if he's there.
Yep.
Yeah, hey. What's happening, man? Would you trade? I'm guessing that's Dalvin Cook and Gabe Davis for Justin Jefferson. You already have Mixon and Jacobs at running back.
Sure. Yeah.
Do the upgrade.
Yeah. Get the best player.
And who would you start at the flex? Zeke or Deontay Johnson? Deontay, man.
Zeke at home against the Lions.
With this quarterback back, I mean, I see the appeal. And he had that 15-point week last week. I see the appeal.
Deontay's been kind of quiet the past 3 weeks.
What has Deontay been doing?
5 for 28, 5 for 60 is not bad, but 2 for 11.
Ooh.
Against the Jets.
Yeah, but in one of those weeks, it was 13 targets. So I think I'm throwing the fact that he caught only 5 of them out the window. They're both kind of floor plays, man.
Yeah, they're both floor plays. I think I would play Zeke at home against the Lions. I mean, I guess for Deontay, the Steelers are probably gonna have to throw the ball a lot, but he's not getting high quality targets right now.
No, he's not. But it could swing back. I mean, the Chase Claypool pendulum could swing back to in his favor. Chase Claypool had a good week the past 2 weeks. Like, it could swing back to Deontay Johnson. It could, but it also could swing to Pittman. I guess Zeke is the safer play.
I think Zeke is slightly safer.
But it could be a high upside game for Deontay. I think if you're in PPR and you need a lot of points, I think I'm going Deontay. But outside of that, I think Zeke is fine. Safe floor play. Shane Jacobus, what's happening? Dropped Kenyon Drake for Donta Foreskin. Bad move.
Nah, it's fine. You could take it.
He's at least more of a year-long situation for you.
It's end of bench running back stashes. Foreman's got a little bit more, of a long-term season-long opportunity. So no, it's fine.
And is Elijah Mitchell a drop now?
I think so.
If he's on your IR, keep him on your IR. But I mean,
if you don't need the IR spot, then you might as well hang on to him. But if you do need the IR spot, then he's a drop. I just, you don't committee Christian McCaffrey. Jeff Wilson and Elijah Mitchell, we hardly do.
But considering he's on your IR, and that means it's like a free square, I'm holding him until he gets activated off of IR. Because you never know what happens. I really hope this doesn't happen, but what if CMC gets hurt? You never want that to happen, and then you're kicking yourself because you dropped Elijah Mitchell for no reason. I'm holding him on my IR. As soon as he gets activated, I'm dropping him. If all else is fine.
But if you need the IR spot now, if for like Hollywood Brown or maybe Dobbins, then I would drop Mitchell.
D. Linney with the stats again. Now, Justin Fields is on pace for 850 rush yards if his last 3-game pace continues. 1,150 rush yards, which is Lamar Jackson's status. And Fields is week 9 through 11. Very easy matchups. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wasn't charting what Fields has been doing on the ground. I've just been seeing that he's been pretty unusable outside of 2 QB leagues, but he is heating up a little bit. 17 points last week, 18 points, or 17 points 2 weeks ago, 18 points last week. He's still not getting it done as a passer, but at least 12 attempts last week. Can't hate on that, and it's probably going to continue because it is what's working for him. Is his rushing. Is he going to break 1,000 yards? I don't think that happens. I don't think he's Lamar Jackson status, but discount Lamar. Can he get to 850 rush yards? Absolutely. And Jay Judah, good to see you. Mike Will, Gabe Davis, DK Lazard. Who would you trade to upgrade at running back?
Any one of them should net you a solid running back. I guess Lazard of these 4, Lazard would be the most expendable for me, I guess, just from a talent perspective.
But he'll also get you the least.
He'll get you the least. Yeah. Do you want an RB1? You gotta offer one of the other 3.
Yeah, Mike Will. Yeah, if you want an RB1. I don't even know if Gabe Davis gets you an RB1.
He might, but you're gonna have to add a little. You might have to add a little more.
Yeah.
Mike Will.
If you're fine with a low to mid tier RB2, then Lazard.
Mike Will will give you an RB1. He'll give you an RB1. Honestly, DK could as well.
But if you are trying to package an upgrade, then package one of your lesser running backs with Lazard and get the upgrade.
Sure.
Maybe that's the way that I would go.
Sure.
And D. Linney is starting Wandale over Sutton this week. This is the week to do it.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Casey Royals, Foreman, Schultz, Ertz, Gus Edwards. Yeah, drop Edwards for Dobbins. You're 2 and 4.
Yep.
Okay. Who are your starters? Mixon, Montgomery, Zeke. Yeah, so you're never going to play Gus Edwards. So sure, just drop Edwards for Dobbins. That's fine. And I know you're 2 and 4, but you're probably at worst like 1 game out of a playoff spot, maybe 2. It's still early. That's not, we're not smashing the panic button.
Yeah, you've had some bad luck with not being able to count on Rashad Bateman the past few. David Montgomery was out for a short amount of time. So, I think you'll get back on track. Have faith. Stick with it.
Yep.
But if you can upgrade, see if you can. Nemo, you have Walker and Cooper, but dude was saying I'm not paying enough for A.J. Brown, but he sent me the trade.
Keep Walker and Cooper because that guy's out of his mind. I love A.J. Brown, but I'd rather have those 2 players. So, yeah, hold your pieces.
He was saying you're not paying enough, but he sent you the trade?
Oh.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
What?
Yeah, he's trying to fleece.
Yeah.
No, just decline. Unfortunately, from what it sounds like, AJ Brown is somebody you cannot acquire. And that's okay.
And yeah, D. Linney, Sutton's going up against Sauce Gardner with a quarterback.
Yeah.
With Brett Rippon at quarterback. He's a wide receiver 3 for me. He's not even a 2.
Getting a quarterback upgrade this week.
You're crazy. Cali Loco, Justice Hill, viable flex in full PPR? Nah. He's a last-ditch dart throw.
Yeah.
At the
yeah,
flex
only
and
if you're
full PPR.
desperate.
And
Only
at
if
the
you're
flex,
desperate.
considering there are wide receivers you can put in there, tight ends you can put in there. Like, is Foster Moreau out there? Did somebody drop Dalton Schultz?
Yeah.
I'm playing any of those guys. Tunyon, if he's still out there. Like, I'm playing a tight end over Justice Hill this week in the flex if I can.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of Justice Hill. D. Linney, with the stats again. The Eagles defense has an incredible schedule after the bye this week. Must hold and stash tonight. Yeah.
Do not drop the Eagles. Do not drop the Eagles. This is one of those defenses that you do not drop for a bye week.
No.
Drop the last running back on your bench instead.
You're not dropping Buffalo. You're not dropping San Fran. You're not dropping Dallas. You're not dropping Arizona right now.
Well,
you're not dropping.
No, you could drop Arizona.
They're the number 4 defense in the league right now. Back-to-back 20-point weeks.
Who are they playing next week?
Well, they got a bye. Or do they? No, they don't have a bye.
Nah, not yet.
Minnesota, Seattle, Rams, San Fran, Chargers.
Minnesota on the road. Arizona can be dropped. But anyway, this is a different conversation.
Yes. But Philadelphia's been great.
Hold the Eagles.
But I'm not dropping a top 5 defense, and Arizona's been that. But regardless, Shane, your team for Week 7 is Kyler, Gallup, Judy, Nico Collins, JT, Kenneth Walker III, Kelsey, Rashad White, Bench, Dylan, Donta Foreman, Josh Reynolds, and Kupp is on bye, and Connor and Elijah on IR.
Yeah, so I mean, who can you like? Is this start 3 receivers? Like, I assume you start 2 running backs. You're starting Taylor and Kenneth Walker. You know that. You're starting Kelsey. You know that.
So it's
if you have.
I think I'm starting somebody over White. I'm starting Dylan or Donta over White.
Yeah, I'm starting Dylan. I'll roll the dice one more time.
Dylan over
it is
White.
A good matchup. It is
Dylan
a
over.
matchup.
I'm going Dylan over White.
It is. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll go Dylan over Rashad White. But if you start 2 receivers, then Gallup and Nico. If you start 3, then you got to get Judy in there.
Yep. And I'm not starting Reynolds over any of them. Keep him on your bench.
No, can't go there.
Fabian, you have Mixon. Which Jamal Williams? Which Williams? Dubs, London, St. Brown, Carter in the flex. You have Boyd, DJ Moore, Justice Hill, and ETN on the bench. I would not have ETN on the bench. I'd swap out Carter.
There's just no way you can play DeAndre Carter over ETN. There's just no way.
Yep. Yeah, even if Keenan Allen is out, I don't think I'm doing that.
Even if he's out, you got to start ETN. Yeah. If Carter outproduces ETN, that's an outlier, not a calculated call I would try to make. But do you?
And Pickens or Dubs? Which one are you going with this week?
I mean, at least Dubs had Christian Watson is out.
I think I'm going Dubs.
Dubs, I guess. Rodgers, I mean, it's tough.
They're close. I'm going Dubs. No Randall Cobb, who had a ceiling game the past few. I'm going Dubs.
Pickens has been better with Kenny Pickett. Pickett's a ceiling play, Mike. If you need some upside, Pickens. If you think you can get by with a solid floor play, who still has some upside to score, I would go Dubs. But I think Pickens has a higher ceiling.
I'll agree with that.
If you're looking at your situation and you're like, I'm a 20-point underdog and I need some juice, then Pickens. If it looks like a fair fight, Dubs.
Callie, is the Jacksonville defense good this week? They got Denver next week in London.
Sure, if you're, I think they get the Giants this week. The Giants, Jacksonville hasn't they've been solid. They haven't been great the past couple of weeks.
Last week they were straight up bad against Indy. 1.5 fantasy points by what I'm seeing here. They've cooled off. Their high water mark was against Indy, weirdly enough, in week 2, and they've tailed off since. Now they get the Giants next week, or this week.
Right.
And the Giants have given up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing defenses. And then Denver next week. Jacksonville's middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's, the Jets might be a better play this week against Denver with Ripien in there. Are the Dolphins out there? Like they're playing the Steelers, who are, they can be had on the road. And Miami's been pretty good at home. And Jacksonville's fine. I'm not like crazy about it, but they're fine.
Yeah, they're middle of the road.
Yeah.
Yasir, what's happening, man? Thanks for joining us. 12-man league. You have Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Miles Sanders, and you have two wide receivers, Amon-Ra and Keenan Allen.
You need a wide receiver.
Marcus Brown got injured.
Trade Dalvin Cook. I would trade Cook unless you have Madison. If you have Madison, then hold Dalvin Cook. But if you don't have Madison, then trade Dalvin. He's healthy now. That's great, and he's on his bye week, so that's he could get healthy, and maybe he stays healthy the rest of the year. But that's a big roll of the dice to take. Shoulder dislocations are easy injuries to reoccur, unfortunately. Dalvin struggles to get through full seasons. You can also ask a lot for him right now because he is healthy. I would trade Cook.
I would also just see what you can get for Ramondre, because Harris is coming back. So I would just float it out there. That's all I'm saying. Because you can sell Ramondre off of he's RB9 right now, off of a couple of weeks where Damian Harris did not play. Now he's coming back, and his ceiling is lowered. So I would at least float out what you could get for Ramondre, but I'm fine with floating out offers for both and seeing what you can get. But I'm holding Lenny and Sanders, but I would try to get a wide receiver for Dalvin or Ramondre.
Yep. Callie, don't stream. I wouldn't stream the Chiefs on the road.
And everybody's lowballing him for Sanders and Ramondre. Then I guess just try to trade Dalvin.
Trade Dalvin Cook, and keep your good running back depth. Yeah.
Yep.
Then trade Dalvin Cook, but don't say But you can ask for like a wide receiver 1 for Dalvin Cook. So, hold firm.
And Ignatius has a hard question here. Sit 1 PPR, CD, Amon-Ra, Kenneth Walker, or Dameon Pierce.
This is pick your poison. I'm starting CD. I'm starting Walker. Amon-Ra and Pierce are also deserving of starts. There's no one obvious answer here.
I'm sitting 1 of Kenneth Walker and Amon-Ra.
You're sitting 1 of those 2?
Yeah, I'm starting CD and Pierce pretty confidently this week.
Pierce has the Raiders, right? Yeah. That's tough.
It's full PPR. It's tough. I want to go the wide receiver, but Kenneth Walker's been
Amon-Ra,
so good.
but Walker and Pierce have RB1 upside. I guess it's got to be Amon-Ra, but I don't feel good about that.
Yeah, coming off an injury, I guess it is Amon-Ra. You're not sitting CD with Dak finally back.
At home. Yeah.
And I think I'm playing both of those potential RB1s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Amon-Ra, but I don't feel good about it. He's probably going to have a really strong week himself.
It's a good situation to be in. To have to make a tough decision like that, but yeah, Amon-Ra is the sit.
Yeah.
Jacob Self got Jamar Chase in a trade this week for Lockett and Miles Sanders.
Nice.
Thoughts? Very good job.
Yeah, I like it. Nicely done. I mean, Sanders is having a very strong year. Lockett is, Lockett's doing his thing where he can have, stretches where he puts up big numbers, but Jamar Chase has top 5 upside at the position. Nicely done, Jacob.
And Joanne Puig, what's happening, man? Should you start? It's Joanne.
Yeah. Or sorry, I was looking at something else.
Wilson or Foreman?
For this week, Wilson.
You think so?
Because you can do it this week. McCaffrey, if there's one more week to play Wilson, it's this one when McCaffrey has been in the building for 2 days. And it's against the Chiefs. They're probably going to utilize both of them in a game that has much greater shootout potential than Bucs Panthers.
And Panthers, it's a floor play all around with the offense they're dealing with. I guess Wilson.
Yeah, I would go Wilson, but if you can't trade him after this game, he's probably a drop. But for this game, you can use him.
And Brock Goose.
What's up, Brock?
What's going on, man? Full PPR, pick one for the second flex. Ramondre, Gallup, Dubs, Jacoby Myers.
Wow, that's a good problem to have. I think I go Ramondre.
Even with Harris back, I think I go Ramondre too.
I think I go Ramondre. I know it's full PPR, but Ramondre, even with Harris back, Ramondre is the pass catching back. And has clearly, I think he's done enough where maybe Harris comes back as the 1B anyway.
I think that's for certain.
Yeah, I would go Ramondre. Those are all really good depth receivers to have, but Ramondre has, it's going to be on the low. I think it's more low end RB1, but he's got, even with Harris in the mix, low end RB1 upside.
Yep. Mike, Herbert.
Gotta go Herbert. Let's see how Dak does coming back 1 week. But Herbert, even with Keenan Allen out, I'll go Herbert.
And D. Linney, thanks for helping out in the chat. Always love to see it. Always love to see it.
We said the same thing. So, yep, nicely done.
Brett, non-PPR wide receiver 1, Lamb, 2, Williams, flex, Brian Robinson, relevant bench, Alec Pierce, Kenyon Drake, Donta Foreman. Do you have it right?
I think you do in non-PPR. I think you do.
The only thing is, do you put in Kenyon Drake for Brian Robinson? That is the only situation where I'm looking at it and I'm like, what upside does Brian Robinson have versus a guy like Drake who just had a ceiling week and basically has the run of the offense from the run game perspective? Because again, I do not really believe in. Yeah, with Taylor Heineke or
Lamar
Jackson, Edge Jackson for sure.
I would say Robinson, I feel safer about his role, though, I would say, than I do Drake. I don't know how much Justice
depends where you're at with needing a ceiling or a floor play this week. If the floor play is fine, I'm going with Brian Robinson. If you need a ceiling play, I think I go Kenyon Drake.
That's fine. I'm fine with that for sure.
And Anthony Ramos, 1 QB, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 1 flex, full PPR. Ryan, Tua, Carr, Njoku, Pitts, Pickens, AJ Dillon, and CMC. Well, you're playing CMC if he's playing, you're playing him.
Running back. Yep, easy call. Tight end.
This week is it Njoku over Pitts?
Yeah, mate. No.
To your point, they're playing 1970s football.
I know the narrative could change on the road though against a good offense. What's Cincinnati giving up to the tight end position? Not a lot. They're middle of the pack. Now,
what's Baltimore giving up to tight ends?
I think also middle of the pack, but let me double check his matchup. And then as far as quarterback, I would go Tua here. Good matchup against the Steelers, and he gets to throw the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
Baltimore is also middle of the pack.
Yeah, they are.
Cincinnati and Baltimore are pretty much like they're in that 15 range, literal middle of the pack. Like one's 14th, one's 16th, something like that. So call it a wash. Man, Pitt's ceiling play and Njoku floor play. But Njoku's got a solid floor. Pitts has a low.
And Njoku in his own right is super athletic too. He's not quite the athletic freak that Pitts is, but he's an athletic freak.
Yeah.
And he's operating like their wide receiver too right now. Something that we really can't say for Pitts right now.
No,
I guess we can, but it's so low upside.
Low volume. It's low volume. Tua is your quarterback. CMC is your running back. Pitts is your tight end if you need a ceiling play or an upside play, and Njoku if you think you can play it safe. And then at the flex in full PPR, I'm going Pickens.
I think I'm the opposite way around on the tight ends. If I need a ceiling play, I think I'm going to Njoku. But if I'm fine with the floor play, that could be a ceiling play, Pitts. But I think if I need the ceiling play, I think I'm going Njoku this week.
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
But everything else I agree with.
Yeah, McCaffrey running back to a quarterback, Pickens flex, Anthony.
And Zachary, I wouldn't do that trade and then try to figure out what you're doing with Burrow. Maybe if you have the Allen deal like hammered out before you press accept on that deal,
smash accept, then go
figure out what's going on with the Brees Burrow situation, and then if you can get both figured out, press accept for both at the same time.
Yep. Agreed.
And D. Lenny, thanks again for helping out.
Yep. Brett, Deion Jackson, I think wasn't he ruled out?
I don't know that, but he doesn't factor into the equation here for me. If JT is healthy, then Deion Jackson doesn't factor in.
He's healthy. Taylor's off the injury report. No, Deion Jackson, you can hang on to him for a week just to see, but no, firmly on your bench.
I don't think he's a hold for a week. I think he has worked himself into handcuff for one of the best running backs in the league. So he's hit Jaylen Warren levels for me as just like if I have the space, I want to just hold on to Deion Jackson.
All right.
Unless I absolutely have to drop him because of the bye week situations and all that. Y to pro, bye week for me is hitting hard. Start 2, Claypool, Gallup, Woods.
Gallup and Woods.
And Woods over Claypool?
Yeah, Claypool seems to do better with Trubisky in there, not Pickett. So I'll in a small sample size, I'll ride that trend.
Yeah, and Woods was heating up.
Woods
prior to the bye.
Woods is rounded into form a little bit. I think he's safe enough here. Claypool feels the most volatile. I would go Gallup in a great matchup, getting his quarterback back, and the wily old vet, stable vet in Robert Woods.
Yeah, I'd agree. And Nemo with the defense question: Miami D or Giants D this weekend?
Dolphins. They're playing Kenny Pickett. They're playing a rookie, right? They're at home. Go look at their home road splits on defense. They've been a lot better at home.
It's Miami for me too.
Yeah, Miami. I would go Miami. The Giants are playing well right now, but they're on the road, so I guess that's a bit of that's kind of the difference for me. Give me the defense at home, playing in prime time.
And D. Lenny, good luck with that one. I like that. Good luck with it though. Financial awareness with K. Shaw. Thanks for joining us, man. Good to have you in here. 10-team full PPR stash question. Need to activate Gus Edwards right now. Do you drop Rachaad White or Rondale Robinson?
Wandale. I don't want to drop Wandale. But do you need to activate Gus Edwards? Like, are you going to play? Is your lineup set?
Rest of season, would you rather have... Which of these guys would you rather have? I don't know if maybe I
Stop White.
Do you drop Gus Edwards because you'd rather have Rachaad White rest of season, and I might want to have Wandale too?
Is your lineup set? Because if it is, I'm doing nothing. I'm just sitting and waiting. If your lineup is set and you have your guys in who need to be in, and the fact that you have Edwards like in an ineligible position is blocking you from doing anything, then all right, fine. Maybe just drop Edwards. If your receiving depth is stout, then I don't mind dropping Wandale to activate Edwards because, again, it's just another running back lottery ticket. But if you don't have to do anything, that's the first thing I want to do. If your lineup is set for this week, then don't activate Gus Edwards. Just leave him there.
I mean,
I would do nothing.
I'm kind of the opinion where, like, if I saw somebody doing that in my league,
no,
I wouldn't put him on blast, but it'd be like, really?
No, that's part of the rules. That's fine. That's fair play.
It's fair play, man, but it is bending the rules.
It's a loophole. We've all used loopholes. If you don't need the dude, it is your right to stash the dude until you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of playing like, fantasy police.
I mean, I don't know if I need Gus Edwards if I have White and Robinson. I think if I need to activate Gus Edwards, I think I'm keeping those two, and I'm dropping Gus Edwards. But I guess if you want to do what Nick is suggesting, it's within your right.
I'm doing nothing. I see down below you say your lineup is set. Just leave him there. Just leave him there.
Fair. Maybe see if you can work on a trade to package two people and not have to deal with that situation moving forward.
Yeah, but we can take this weekend to see how this unfolds.
Fair.
Yeah.
And Casey Royals, bad luck, man. That happens. Bad luck, though.
Okay. It's all right. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yep.
Let's bounce back this week. What do you say?
And Mike, Herbert
we got
still.
That one.
Yep.
Yeah, we got that one. Still Herbert,
yep.
Even if Keenan Allen is out. Yeah.
Oh, Aquas, thank you for telling everybody to like the stream. ETN or Alec Pierce, flex, full ETN. PPR, ETN.
ETN. Yeah, he looks good. I know he hasn't had a ceiling game yet, but he looks good.
And Senor Rojo, yeah, I do. I don't need the RB3 on a bad team.
I don't even know. I don't know what he is. I mean, it depends. Again, I'll always ask the question first, who are you picking up? But yeah, Mike Boone doesn't look like a hold. I don't know who's a hold in that backfield. I
think we can say that he isn't, because either one of the two guys ahead of him are going to get the shot ahead of him.
Yeah, probably.
And honestly, the fact that they're scooping the waiver wire, they're scooping Latavius Murray off of the waiver wire in the NFL and playing him over Mike Boone, who's to say that doesn't happen again with another practice squad guy from another team 2 weeks from now if something happens to the top two guys?
I don't know.
Mike Boone is droppable.
I don't know what that situation is. But it depends on who's there, but sure, he's not necessarily a hold.
And yeah, D Carter becomes interesting as a dart throw, as a last-minute dart throw, but ETN is a play over him for sure.
Yeah.
Senor Rojo, your other running backs are Mixon, Hall, Eno, White, and Pacheco. You can drop him.
You don't need Boone.
Josh Kelly on IR, Sony Michel a possible flex for Seattle. Yeah. Why not?
Seattle can't stop anybody, and they do like giving a few touches to the backup running back to spell Eckler here and there. So yeah.
And young Nino, absolutely Foster Moreau is a start this week.
It depends on who your other options are, but if you're streaming and you don't have another obvious play, then yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Peter Jimenez, non-PPR, need a wide receiver and a flex. Pick 2. Kareem Hunt, Romeo Doubs, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jerry Jeudy. Kareem Hunt in the flex.
And
Romeo Doubs in the wide receiver 3. Yep.
Yeah. I like Wan'Dale. He has an opportunity here, but let's see if he can string it together a couple times in a row. Jacksonville's actually been somewhat stingy against wide receivers. So let's play Doubs, no Christian Watson, no Randall Cobb, and let's go with a tried and true, somewhat inconsistent, but a tried and true running back in Kareem Hunt.
And Jocelyn Fox, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you too, and always with the help, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy G for QB? Which way do you go?
So A-Rod doesn't have Christian Watson. He doesn't have Randall Cobb. He does have his backfield. Jimmy G gets Christian McCaffrey to play with, in addition to Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, in a potential shootout against Kansas City. I would say Jimmy G is your upside play here.
Kansas City is giving up the second most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're ripe for the picking, and game script is always, a narrative when it comes to the Kansas City offense. You automatically have to assume as an offense that you're going to have to play to keep pace with them, which means you can't rest on your laurels and run the ball in 40 times a game. Not that San Francisco always does it 40 times a game, but you get what I'm saying. They're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more this week, and they just added one of the elite pass-catching options at the running back position. He's probably only going to play a handful of snaps, maybe 40 to 50% of the snaps, but those are going to be in the red zone on third down.
Jimmy G.
When they need Yeah, I think Jimmy G here. Rogers.
He has
fine.
a ceiling right now. This through 6 weeks of 16 fantasy points in the super flex. Like Jimmy G is the ceiling play.
Rogers is fine. Is a boring floor play. He should come through for you at the end of the day. But if you're looking at your situation and you're like, I need points and I need to roll the dice, Jimmy G.
Yep. But thanks again for joining us. If you have any more questions, throw them in the chat. Fabian, thoughts on Justice Hill for rest of season? Meh. Those are like it. Meh.
Yeah.
We talked about him a little bit. We had another question where we kind of deep dived into Justice Hill. Meh.
Yeah. Meh. He's got an opportunity, but like.
It's already looking like a 3-headed monster with Gus Edwards coming back, and then when Dobbins comes back in 4 to 6 weeks, it's a 4-headed monster, and he's probably last man, the odd man out.
Mm-hmm.
So not super high on him. Shane Jacobus with my team looking and trying to acquire Godwin as a wide receiver too. Who should I give up? Let's go back up to your team.
I got it.
You got it?
Stay where you're at. I mean, you have Kenneth Walker. You have A.J. Dillon. I mean, this is remember his wide receivers were Gallup, Judy, Nico Collins. He's got Kupp on bye. James Conner and Elijah Mitchell. I mean, it's gonna take a good, healthy player, and I don't know if I want to give up Kenneth Walker. Dillon's not gonna get it done for Godwin. You're not giving up Kelsey. You're not giving up Jonathan Taylor. I mean, the guy I'm looking at in your lineup that you're going to have to trade for Godwin is Kenneth Walker, and I don't want to do that. I think you just wait because you have Cooper Kupp. Just get through his bye week, and, that's your anchor at wide receiver. I would wait to see if Dillon can string a couple good performances together, and then you can try to give Dillon up for Godwin. But right now, I don't think you can make that play. And I'm not giving up Kenneth Walker. I love Godwin, but Walker's playing his way into
would you package Dillon and James Conner or something like that to see?
I don't know
he's on IR.
You could try.
Try it. That's all I'm saying.
A lot of running back depth, but I guess for Godwin, yeah, sure, fine.
Try it.
Feels like a lot to,
It is a lot to give up, but I'd rather do that than give up Kenneth Walker.
But it's also a sell low on Dillon, who I'm not like totally.
And Connor.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that. Because you could weather the storm and just, you're getting Kupp back. That's next.
Yeah. That might be the safe play. There's just to weather the storm.
Yep.
John Hernandez Gleaton. What's going on, man?
What's up, John?
What's the play with the Green Bay running backs? You have both Jones and Dillon. You're 5-1. Very good job. So you're looking to prep for the playoff schedule and hoping that you could just get one solid running back who doesn't have to be.
If you're 5-1, it sounds like it's not very. It sounds like there's nothing to fix here, or there's nothing to address. I mean, if one goes down, you have the other guy.
I think I'm holding.
Yeah, because you're not the guy to trade is. I mean, because Jones is a sell low right now of sorts because he's been kind of quiet the past couple weeks, and Dillon they're both sell lows. Right, or if you want to look at it from the perspective of somebody else in your league, they're buy lows for your league mates.
Yeah.
So I'm holding, and you're 5-1. I'm holding.
Yep, holding too.
And again, something happens to one, you have the other. Hold.
And box of chocolates, Tennessee defense or Jacksonville defense?
I guess Jacksonville. Tennessee's defense stinks. Jacksonville's playing the Giants at home. Tennessee is playing Indianapolis. I think they're at home too.
Yeah.
Jacksonville. Not crazy about it, but Jacksonville.
Tennessee has a better matchup, but Jacksonville.
Yeah, but Tennessee's as a unit
is
weak.
Yeah.
The division game, so something to be said for that, I guess.
And John, Deontay or Bateman for Keenan? I don't know if I'm.
If you want to keep Deontay, then keep Deontay. But honestly, Deontay for Keenan Allen is not a bad offer.
I wouldn't do Bateman.
Deontay, I'm okay.
But the
with
time
that.
to trade for Keenan Allen was a few weeks ago. It's not now. But if you dead set on having Keenan Allen on your squad, then I guess Deontay is the way to go. Because he could have some positive regression, man, but he was due for negative regression off of last year, and we're seeing it right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I think the positive regression might come next season. I don't know if the positive regression comes this season.
Yeah. As Pickett takes hopefully strides and gets better this year and then moving into year 2.
And John Sims, I know you got to give up the world for Cooper Kupp, but that is too much for me.
I'm not giving up Evans and Jacobs.
That is too much for me. A wide receiver 1 and a running back 1 for a better wide receiver 1, I'm holding that.
Yeah.
Senior Rojo, OBJ is on waivers. Should he be picked up or is it too soon? I think they just came out and said that he's targeting a mid-December return.
You could drop Renfro for him if you want.
Yeah, you could drop Renfro for him, but
although Waller's Waller's out, I would maybe stand pat on that.
Like I don't know. My point with saying mid-December is like, do you even like when does that? I don't know. Does that help you?
Nah, you could leave him on waivers.
Like I don't think you even need to.
You just got Hopkins back. You're gonna get Keenan Allen back. You have Lamb. Yeah, I would keep with what I think you can leave OBJ on waivers. Yep.
Riley VIP, what do you guys think of Josh Reynolds now that Chark is on IR? He has been putting up numbers this year.
Yeah, he has been pretty good. I don't want to totally dismiss him. I think we did earlier. Somebody had him as an option. Yeah, he has been pretty steady.
Wow.
And
I did not know he's been as consistent as he's been. Wow.
He's been consistent.
Okay. News to me.
They should have to throw a lot this week, tomorrow.
So, I mean, he's had 10, 8, and 10 targets in the last 3 games that he's played.
He's worth a hold. He's certainly worth a hold. He's still a little tough to start if you don't have other obvious options. Or if you do have other obvious options. He's kind of tough to get into your lineup. But, yeah, Reynolds is playing well.
Yeah, and thanks for opening my eyes to him. I was not aware. But I guess let's try to speed up these questions a little bit.
Yeah, we got some.
John Hernandez Gleaton helping out the other John. There you go. And
yeah, but I wouldn't do that deal though.
No.
Yeah. I would.
So and financial awareness. Yeah, I guess follow Nick's advice. If you don't have to do anything, you don't have to do anything.
Yep. Just. Yep.
Unless your commissioner's a stickler about it, I guess you don't have to do anything.
Well, even then, that's not your problem.
It is, and it is if the commissioner makes a deal about it. But if he doesn't, then
that's the commissioner's fault for not knowing the rule going into the season. The rule is the rule.
Well, the commissioner, regardless, you can
look it up because I've done this before. I've dealt with this before with somebody in another league who called me out on it. Yahoo literally has it spelled out in the rules that it is fine to leave guys in IR and do nothing. It's in the rule book.
Yeah, so, you're not forfeiting a week unless your commissioner makes a big deal about it. But if he doesn't, then you can leave it as is.
Yep.
And John's helping out Riley too, so good looks. Thanks for helping. We love to see people helping other people out in the chat.
Yeah, but for now, I'm not.
But I don't.
No, Josh Reynolds is an interesting flyer right now.
He's been great.
Jameson Williams says that they said he wasn't ready to come off the NFI list yet, so I'm not holding my breath on JMO. They're going to take their time with him.
Yeah, and 4 straight weeks of plus 10 fantasy points from a wide receiver is what you expect to get from Deontay Johnson. So keep rolling with, like, Josh Reynolds is,
So honestly, Reynolds is a flex option this week.
Yeah. And Casey Royals, thanks for chilling. If you're still here.
Yeah, thanks, Casey.
D. Lenny Claypool trade rumors are heating up. I wonder if Pitts tries to jump
they could try
another week.
They could try, but it sounds like they're asking for a lot, and they need to bring that asking price down.
I feel like they always publicize the high asking price and the lower asking prices behind closed doors, because if somebody comes out and says, hey, we're willing to give up Claypool for a 5th rounder, like, That's a shot at Claypool from the own organization, so I think it's a PR move to say, hey, we want 2 seconds, a third, and a fourth for him. Behind closed doors, it is probably different. I think he could get traded. They were trying to trade him in the preseason by all accounts.
They need to bring the asking price down. But
they do. But I think it is already down behind closed doors because nobody's paying that price for Claypool. Nobody. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Xavier Dubs was bragging, man.
What's happening,
And
Xavier?
yes,
yeah,
we
we're
are
playing
playing
McCaffrey
CMC.
with confidence. You have no choice.
Yep.
We collectively have no choice. You have to play Christian McCaffrey even 50% of the snaps.
Anthony FlexPlay full PPR, Hines Dotson, who I don't think is playing, Khalil Herbert, Josh Reynolds, Paris Campbell, Wan'Dale Robinson, DeAndre Carter. We just talked about Josh Reynolds.
Might as well go Reynolds.
Yep. And Xavier Dubs, I think I'd go Damian Harris if CMC doesn't play.
But he's going to play.
Yes.
And you're playing McCaffrey. You're playing McCaffrey. You're playing McCaffrey easily over both of those options.
Fabian, how accurate and important are the matchup rankings? I mean,
they matter. They matter.
They matter. Yeah. We have a sample size now. We have a sample size of 6 weeks that Las Vegas Raiders give up 27 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks, whereas the Denver Broncos give up 10. Like, that's something we can count on now. So matchup rankings are important. Now, rankings themselves, depending on where you're getting them from, you can kind of throw them out. I would say do your own research. Look up fantasy points against for opposing defenses with respect to wide receivers. It's on Yahoo, and there are other places you can look them up. So I would say do your own research. Don't rely on other people's rankings, but there are actionable stats that you can use to make these decisions now. Mm-hmm. Matty Ice or porn star Jimmy? Full PPR.
Jimmy. I think I would go Jimmy just because of the upside, the potential shootout upside of this matchup. And, at the very least, it sounds like he's going to have McCaffrey and red zone opportunities. So, let's roll the dice on Jimmy.
And D. Lenny, interesting about Claypool. Small sample size. I think I need a larger sample size before I make any decisions about Claypool in my lineup. That's for sure. Damon Luce, what are your thoughts on Terrace Marshall now that Robbie Anderson is in Arizona? He gets a shot.
He gets an opportunity, but
it's with PJ Walker and then Sam Darnold. So how much of a shot?
Right.
But he gets more of a shot.
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate these guys in terrible situations that are out of their control, and that's what he's in.
Yeah. I don't even know what he's done this year, but I'm guessing not much because I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn, you are very welcome. If you have any more questions, let us know. But y'all wanted to get our opinion on tight end also. Hawkinson. I love Tunyon, but Hawkinson.
I think Hawkinson or Tunyon is already like the tight end, like 13 or 14 on the year, despite doing nothing the first month of the season. Hawkinson has Swift and Amon-Ra back, and remember, in games when the entire lineup was healthy, he wasn't producing.
He has a 10-point week.
Did he?
He has a 10-point week, and the first 2 weeks he started slow, but in those first 2 weeks, 7 targets each week.
Out that game? Swift was out that game.
Was he?
Yeah, Swift was out that game.
But he still had 7 targets in each of the weeks where everybody was healthy.
Yeah.
And in Dallas, they're going to have to run up the score. No DJ Chark now.
By the numbers. Yeah, no DJ Chark, I guess, helps. But also, Chark wasn't giving them, all that
No,
much.
but Hawkins is the tight end 6 right now, yo. Like, I get that Tunyon has now gotten broken into the top 10, but he's 10.
It is. I think it is a bit of a toss-up. I guess I would go Hawkinson. He's the more talented player. Tunyon has the better quarterback, right? And again, probably a larger opportunity because whereas Hawkinson is battling for targets with guys like Swift and Amon-Ra, Tunyon, the Packers will not have Randall Cobb and Christian Watson for whatever that's worth.
I think you have to analyze the matchups again, just like we did with the quarterbacks, because that was a little edging towards toss-up too. But I think it's, after we looked at it, it was pretty clear. Jimmy G. The Detroit Lions are giving up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Oh wait, who's Hawkinson playing? Dallas, right?
Dallas. Gonna throw a lot.
The 28th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends, and then
both bad matchups.
They're both bad. Ugh.
Both bad matchups by the numbers. Both on the road.
I'm going Hawk.
Yeah,
he's the elite. He's the elite option. He's the guy you drafted. I'm going Hawk.
Yeah.
If we were advocating for Rodgers, I'd say Tunyon maybe gets the edge because we're going for a stack there, but we're not.
Yeah, that's true.
But I hope that helps. And again, if you have any more questions, let us know. Cade Smith, should I keep Lockett or Elijah Mitchell and hope for a trade? One's got to go.
If one's got to go, it's Mitchell.
Yeah.
Even if Lockett has to be is out tomorrow, he hasn't practiced all week. He's questionable. Even if he doesn't go tomorrow, it's Mitchell. I mean, Christian McCaffrey. That's it.
And this one's tough, Damon. Sutton or Nico Collins, but Sutton. I think you just got to play Sutton and suck it up.
Yep, play Sutton. Maybe he gets hyper targeted by the backup quarterback.
And D. Linney, I like the prospect that was Terrace Marshall coming in. He just hasn't shown anything. Still young. Has a lot to prove.
He got hurt last year, so maybe he gets an extended look this year now that Robbie Anderson is gone. They're in full evaluation mode.
Well, he should be the number 2 target moving forward with no CMC now too. But I guess Chenault's there now too, and it's just
whatever.
It's just an ugly situation for him. He's enticing in Dynasty.
Yeah, he's enticing in Dynasty.
And D. Linney leans Nico, or even though we lean Sutton, I think I'm just going with the elite option.
Player. Yeah.
Neither of them are getting good quarterback plays, so.
Nico's been consistent, but I'll play Sutton for a week. Could be getting a quarterback upgrade tomorrow.
Gonna keep saying that. Mark Maloney, trade Pitts for Waller.
No.
They both
coming off the bye week. Waller's still hurt.
Nah.
Waller's numbers have been in decline since last year. I'll keep. I know it's pulling teeth with Pitts, but I actually think I'll just continue to roll the dice with Pitts versus Waller. I thought Waller was the top. If you missed in drafts this year on the top 3, on Kelsey and Andrews and Pitts, I did prefer Waller to Kittle as far as trying to get one of the last 2 expected top options. That looks to have maybe backfired. Waller's the hamstring injury and lack of production recently. No, I'll keep Pitts.
And we are, again, going to start doing these a little bit more rapid fire here. Mark Maloney, start 1.
This time for real.
Start 1, Deontay, start 2, CMC for me.
Yeah, you got to start McCaffrey. Man, can you start McCaffrey and Aaron Jones? There's got to be a way.
But if we're choosing out of those, it's Deontay and CMC.
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy, yes. Love that name. Drop Pickens for Gus Edwards and lacking running backs. And we wouldn't have advocated for that. We like Pickens more than Gus Edwards.
I like
even
Pickens.
Though you're lacking running backs.
How bad is it?
Yeah.
How bad is your situation, Bruce? Let us know.
And
we like Pickens.
We got a kicker whisper question from Anthony. Myers or Gano?
Where is that? Why did I?
2 below Bruce Leroy.
Oh, I got it. Sorry. I guess I would go Gano. Gano has just been more consistent. They're both in good warm weather situations, so that's not a concern. Myers, I guess, is on the slightly better offense, although the Giants have been fine in their own right. Last week was a down week for Gano. He only had 1 field goal and 3 extra points, but before that, 10 fantasy points, 10 fantasy points, 15 fantasy points, 17 fantasy points. He had only 1 point week 1, but like weeks 2 to 5, he went on a stretch where he was easy double digits and big time games in 2 of those games. By the numbers, it's not a good matchup for Gano. Myers, it might be a little bit better of a matchup. It is by the numbers. Myers has been good himself recently, 13-10, 14-11. So he's been about as consistent as Gano recently. Gano has had a couple of higher scoring weeks. Rest of season, it's probably Gano, but honestly, with the matchup tomorrow, there is an argument. There is a slightly stronger argument for Myers. Both should be fine. One's kicking in Florida, sunny Florida. One's kicking in sunny LA. Gano is on an offense that can move the ball but stalls. Myers is in a very similar situation, in a matchup that has a better chance for points to be scored because they're going against the Chargers. Both are good. Both have been consistent. I guess I may actually suggest Myers tomorrow just because there is by the numbers, it's a better matchup. But for the rest of the season, I do like Gano.
Yeah. So much for the rapid fire. But good thorough answer. Michael Alexander, I would start Njoku. Who do you got?
Yeah, I would give it. I would go Njoku. I need to see Schultz first. Njoku's been playing well.
Yep. Damon Luce. You retracted your message. I don't remember what you said, but you retracted it. Flex full PPR. Would you start Swift over Pierce or Amon-Ra? I think I might start him over Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I guess just the running back one upside that he brings.
Yeah.
I guess. Not crazy about it, but I guess it's a good problem to have.
Yep. And yeah, I guess the other question for Damon before he retracted it was Terrace Marshall or Nico Collins. I'm going Nico Collins.
Nico, yeah, I would go Nico.
Then he disagrees with Amon-Ra, but yeah, we have our reasoning for it.
It's a good problem to have. Those are really good options.
If you have to choose, you have to sit one. You have to.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm starting both wide receiver or running back ones.
Yeah. Although it is a tough matchup for Swift, but yeah, he's got RB1 upside.
Who would you rather have, ETN or Drake London? I think I'd rather have ETN.
I would play ETN. I mean, his
respect to Salvetri, but ETN for us.
Yeah, I would go ETN. London might get a bump in usage this week. Atlanta might not be able to just like sit on the run game all game in a road matchup against Cincinnati. But I mean, it's clear they want to run the ball. ETN is a big part of what the Jags do in their backfield. I think I would play ETN.
And John Hernandez Gleaton, in your case for trading for Keenan is that you have Eckler and Herbert, so stacks on stacks. You will have to watch out if you're trading for them. The bye week is week 8, so then you're going to be scrambling week 8. It's not a bad thing to have a 3-way stack.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't give up the world for it.
Yeah.
And Bruce Leroy, thanks for completing the. I guess you got cut off or something. Must have pressed enter.
Completed the thought, so that's
fine. But yeah, we would have.
Yeah, would like to know your other options. Would like to know your other options because we do like Pickens.
Eel out. What's happening, man? Good to see you in here.
Out? Yeah, appreciate the
and very very much appreciated, man. Thanks for being thanks for everybody in here chilling with us today.
Yeah, appreciate the engagement, the likes, the questions, the patience. Yeah.
And Fabian makes a good point.
Where's that?
I'm a DJ Moore owner. If he can't do it, how will Marshall do it? I mean, that's a good point to make. Yeah. Well said, Fabian.
Right.
Would you do Lockett and Dillon for Higgins?
Yeah.
I would. Higgins is a borderline top 12 option.
Yes, I would do that trade. Yeah. That's pretty damn good for what I feel like is a situation where you're having to sell low on Dillon. So, yeah, if you can get it done, get it done.
And Dante Claiborne, give Khalil Herbert and Jacoby Myers or Josh Reynolds for ETN and Drake. I mean, I'm
Sure.
either of them. Yes.
Herbert and Reynolds, because Myers has a little bit. Myers is a little bit more of a mainstay in the Patriots offense.
And
Reynolds,
gets a quarterback back. Yep.
yeah, Reynolds could eventually get usurped. Not
And
saying
he
it
was
will
having
happen.
those boom weeks and weeks where there was no Swift
No
and
Swift,
and
no
and
Hopkins,
Amon
or
Ra
sorry,
got hurt
no Amon
and
Ra.
right.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah, Herbert and Reynolds. Even though we do
Yep.
like Reynolds as a flex this week.
Yep. But if you can get ETN, do ETN. Not Drake. Drake doesn't move the needle for me, but ETN, yes. If you can.
And Fabian, yeah, crazy. that your comment made me laugh though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
John Hernandez Gleaton. What about Hollywood? What are your thoughts on Hollywood Brown, bro?
He's a good grab for somebody who's 4-2, 5-1, 6-0 in the event that the person who has him is closer to the bottom of the standings. You can stash a guy who was the wide receiver 6 through the first 6 weeks. I know Hopkins coming back probably changes that, but you might not have to offer up that much as far as a difference-making piece in a scenario where you've got a good record and you could wait on him for the playoffs, and give up a lesser option to help a weaker team who might have him, if that's the scenario. If you have a good record, he's a good target.
There you go. And I would agree. D-Lenny, I don't think that Calvin Austin is really factoring into the equation here. I think the issue is that they have kind of a logjam at wide receiver, even without Calvin Austin. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few days with Claypool. We'll see. Iron keeping an eye on college football. Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. Let's go. I talked about it last week in the members only stream. Jahmyr Gibbs is my RB2 for the 2023 rookie draft class.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
He is going to be real good. Reminds me of Kamara. And John, your wide receivers are Gabe Davis, Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin, Romeo Doubs, Rashad Bateman. You have a sitting trade that has Sutton for Gabe.
No.
I'd rather have Gabe.
Cancel that.
I'd rather have Gabe.
Cancel that. No. No, cancel that.
Yep. Would rather have Gabe. And Francisco, you got offered Saquon and Higgins for Gabe Davis, Swift, and A.J. Dillon.
I would do.
If you can get Saquon and Higgins, go for that.
I would do.
Yeah, for that.
I would do. You're getting
for those
the two
players,
best
I would
players
do.
in the deal.
Yep.
Well, Swift is good, but Saquon is better, and Higgins is a top 12 option. Gabe's maybe more of a top 20 option. Yeah, I would do it.
And John, your wide receivers aren't bad. They just need to get all healthy.
Do not trade Gabe Davis for Cortland Sutton. No.
Hold Gabe, and now that Godwin's back, once Bateman comes back, your wide receiver core is not stellar, but it's not bad.
I would say it's pretty good.
Yeah, good depth.
Yep.
Roman Arguello, what's happening? Full PPR.
Up,
Hurst or Freiermuth in week 7.
And thanks for subbing.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I didn't see that. Freiermuth for me.
Yeah. I have a harder time kind of trusting him. He's been kind of quiet recently. He had a concussion, so he missed last week. But Hurst has been performing kind of nicely the past couple weeks, and it's another revenge game for him going up against Atlanta. I kind of like Hurst at home over Freiermuth. Yes, the Steelers are going to have to throw a lot, but Freiermuth has been a little quieter since Pickett was inserted as the starter.
Oh, no, he got a concussion against Buffalo, and I don't think he played against Tampa. But now he's back, and in games where he played, he's got 3 out of the 4 games that wasn't the game against Buffalo where he got a concussion were at least 12-point games. I'm going Freiermuth.
All right. I kind of like Hurst in a revenge game spot tomorrow, so I think we're split on that.
Fair. Sorry, Roman.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully the discourse helps you make a decision.
Rojo, would you trade Everett away for a 23 second?
Yes.
Your tight ends are Goddard, Everett, Conklin, and Chig Okonkwo.
Yes, I would. Because you have Goddard. Goddard's going to be past his bye week after this week. I guess the only issue is, Rojo, I think you're one of the top contenders in your dynasty league, right? So Everett is obviously like win now, a depth piece that can help you win now. So maybe I retract my statement. I think
I need a little more. If it's a second and a third, I'll do it. I'm not giving him for just a 23 second.
Yeah.
I would need to factor in the team's record, and I would need another third.
Yeah.
Delaney, Cobb, Watson out.
Yeah.
And Lizard King's coming off of IR. Tunyon, Lazard, Dubs, the top three targets this week outside of the running backs. Yep.
Yeah, they're the top targets. I still think I would go Hawkinson over Tunyon, even though it's close. And Lazard, you're firing up, and Dubs is an interesting flex play this week.
Yep. And Jocelyn Fox, it doesn't have to be the last one. If you have any more questions, absolutely let us know. And for everybody out there, we have another live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST, and we typically go for 2.5 to 3 hours right up until kickoff. So if you have any questions that come up after this stream ends, you can join us tomorrow as well. But pick 2 wide receivers, Lockett, Amari Cooper.
Lockett, Cooper and Dubs.
Dubs, Diggs is your wide receiver 1. Got you.
Yeah, so this is...
First 2, I think.
No.
Amari Cooper and Tyler Lockett? You're playing Dubs over Lockett?
This is easy for me, Jocelyn. Lockett missed practice all this week.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Missed practice all this week. He's questionable to play. Pete Carroll said he has a good chance of playing, but Pete Carroll is a perennial liar when it comes to injury reports and injury updates. Pete Carroll is one of the least trustworthy coaches in the NFL. Lockett is a vet, a savvy vet at that, and is somebody who could play having not practiced all week. That's not my concern. What is my concern is that Amari Cooper and Romeo Dubs play in the early window and Lockett plays in the late window. If you wait on Lockett and Lockett is ruled out, you are probably stuck with a worse option to try to find and fill in over the guys that you can just play in the early slate who you know are going to play and are not on the injury report. Cooper and Dubs, sit Lockett for this week.
There you go. Good information. I didn't know about that Lockett situation, so good to know.
Check those injury reports. See what the situation is. If you can wait to make a call, like if Dubs was playing in the 4 o'clock window or Cooper, then you could wait. But because they're both early, roll with the guys who you know are going to play, have been, not on the injury report, no concerns there. We don't even know what Lockett's, we don't know what Lockett's usage or contributions could be tomorrow, if any.
All right. So, back to rapid fire. D-Lenny, we'll see it if it happens. It happens.
I hope he does well. I think he's a very interesting.
I'm rooting for him, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. Situation. Yeah.
PJ Walker. We'll see how it goes. Cade Christner, start 3 guy. Start 3. Montgomery, Swift, Pollard, Bateman, Dubs. I think you can trust Swift.
Of those options, you have to play Swift.
Bateman if he plays, and Montgomery based off of volume.
Yeah, and if Bateman doesn't play, then I guess I would go Dubs. Pollard looks great, but he's got an Ezekiel Elliott problem. Pollard is still not seeing more than 40% of the snaps, so he's got to come through on some crazy good efficiency to deliver, and he can do that. But it's a little harder. It's a little more volatile to bank on.
And John Hernandez Gleaton, if you can trade both of those backs away for CMC, then do it. But there's no guarantee that you can. And if you need to add a Deontay or a Bateman and you get back a Lockett, then that's worth it.
Yeah.
But that's really the only situation. If it's a CMC or a Saquon, go for it. If it's not one of those guys, I'm holding pat with Jones and Dillon.
Yeah.
And Cade, you have a trade question. Should I do Mike Evans and Montgomery for JT?
That I would do.
That sounds about right.
That I would do.
Sounds about right.
Yep, that I would do.
And Damon Luce, you are very welcome. Kyle Singer.
Yep, you got it.
You set your lineup, full PPR, Aaron Jones, Montgomery, Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard, Murray,
Latavius. And he's
Diggs
gotta
on the
start 2 of
bench.
those.
Lockett.
Godwin,
Well,
Boyd.
you're sitting Lockett based off of the situation we just heard about from Nick. Godwin, Boyd, 2 wide receivers.
Yeah,
So you
go with Godwin.
That's an easy situation there.
I think the Bengals are playing in the early window. So yeah, I'm not messing around. If all of your best options are guys who play in the early window and Tyler Lockett, play the dudes in the early window. He hasn't practiced all week. You know, I don't know we just don't know with Tyler Lockett this week. And
you're playing Tunyon in tight end, and then if you have 2 running backs, it's Aaron Jones and then Montgomery and then Hunt in the flex. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Hunt in full PPR, Hunt is fine to roll the dice on.
And thank you for the like. Thank you for the sub. Much
thanks,
appreciated.
Kyle. Yeah, thanks, Kyle. We're here every Saturday, every Sunday, 6 p.m. on Saturday. Sunday, 10 a.m. starts at help. And then on Tuesdays, we can help out with waivers, trade questions, general topics, also 6 p.m. Eastern. So thanks for subbing.
Absolutely. And Cade, I think that's with your wide receivers. I think that's safe. Go ahead and try to do that.
Do it. Yes, sir. Make that happen.
And D. Linney's still making a case for Terrace Marshall. I see you, man. I
like him. I like him. We'll see. I feel bad for his situation.
And Riley, Jamar Chase is a beast.
Jamar Chase is a stud.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yep. MB in PPR, you have Murray, D-Hop, Keenan Allen, Eckler, Chubb, McPherson, Nick's boy. Do I put Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, or Dameon Pierce in? I'm trying to play Dameon Pierce.
Aaron Jones, too. I mean, you have Eckler and Chubb.
Is there no flex for you? Like D-Hop, Keenan Allen, Eckler.
You have to play Keenan Allen. Is there? That's
you do. It's a wide receiver too. But Eckler and Chubb. I guess I'm not sitting Eckler and Chubb, but I want to play Pierce.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you
might want to try to if you've
try to make a trade.
You might want to try to trade Aaron Jones for a good wide receiver.
Yes, package Aaron Jones
and Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
Get a stud wide receiver. I don't hate that.
And you still roll 3 deep at RB1. Yeah. Xavier Dubs, I think we agreed on porn star Jimmy.
Yeah, porn star Jimmy. Yep.
And John Hernandez Gleaton. So the owner for Brown Keenan, he's 1-5. I could try to see what's good on a 2-2 trade for Deontay Gabe for both. Or Gabe Bateman.
Oh, to get Hollywood and Godwin.
Well, Gabe and Bateman, I would rather have Hollywood and Godwin. Just barely.
If I'm in good shape, in my league, then sure.
Just barely. Yep.
Yeah, barely.
To potentially have Brown, Godwin, Allen with my Chargers stack.
Yeah. I'm all right with that.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
So Tober, good to see you. Donta
Tober.
Foreman or Jamal Williams in the flex.
Foreman is the guy we expect to be the guy in a bad situation. Jamal Williams is the 1B
who still gets it done. I think I go Jamal Williams.
I guess because Jamal has produced this year.
Even with Swift?
With Swift in the lineup, it's not a great matchup by the numbers, but Detroit's got a good offensive line. They're going to have to throw the ball to keep, to presumably keep pace in this game. Could be lots of up-tempo. Williams mixes in. He can catch the ball. I think I would go Williams, just in the better situation.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. And
John, I'm glad we could help. Thanks for being a regular listener.
Yeah, appreciate it, John.
And it's always good to tune out that homework and just listen to us. But Cali Loco, you had Javonte, you got Swift, and have Brian Robinson and Dylan in your running back spots. 12-team full PPR, big benches.
Look, if those are your clear best options, then they're fine to roll with. I know that you don't feel great about them right now, but like, look, Robinson got 17 opportunities last week. I don't know. I mean, Gibbs, he's fine. He's not the most inspiring right now, but he should be all right. It's clear that the team likes him. They like him more than Gibson. He's fine to fire up.
Yeah, he's just slightly unexciting.
Yeah, he's unexciting. He's probably not going to give you anything more than maybe a solid, could be low end RB2. But if he scores and he's at home, so 17 opportunities last week, 10 days rest. It's clear they can say that they want to get Gibson more involved, and they probably should. Gibson's talented. I like Gibson. I stunted for Gibson all offseason, but it's clear the team likes Robinson. Dylan, I know Dylan hasn't scored, but the opportunities are there. Keep going back to the well.
And if I have to choose two, I'm going ETN and Brandon Cooks.
Is this Lucius's question?
Yep.
One wide receiver and one flex. ETN and Cooks. I agree.
Yep.
If you're behind in the matchup and you need upside, so you're hoping Brandon Cooks can make a big play. Yeah, Lucius. ETN as your flex, Brandon Cooks as your wide receiver.
Nazi, how do you guys value quarterbacks right now? What wide receivers and running backs would you trade straight up for Burrow? You're gonna have to give a good player. He's coming off a huge game. He's coming off his best performance of the season. Burrow is. Elite quarterbacks cost. You got to pay up for an elite quarterback.
Yeah, who's on your roster? Ned?
It's a good thing you're in a 10-man, because if you might have the depth bench or the bench depth, whatever, to make something work where you don't have to give up a starter that's on your team depending on who you picked up and all that. But it's going to take a lot to get Burrow. It is, especially if it's super flex.
Yeah. Probably one quarterback. Yeah, is it one quarterback? Is it super flex? And Nezzy, who's on your roster? Let us know.
Jocelyn, real quick. James Robinson or Damian Harris? I would say Damian Harris.
Yeah. If you're rolling the dice on ETN, and I think that's the smart move, you're pivoting away from what we think is a declining role for James Robinson anyway, so let's go back to Harris. Against the Bears, I think they're at home. Yeah, Harris.
And
thanks for subbing, Jocelyn.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bungalow Joe, Mixon or Pierce rest of season? Mixon's disappointed, and Pierce has not.
Mixon's been fine, but yeah, Pierce has had some 2 big weeks back-to-back before the bye week last week.
Yeah. I mean, better offense, Mixon doing more with his touches right now. Pierce.
But Mixon is the guy with the proven track record. If you have Mixon, or if this is like a Bungalow Joe, if this is like a should I trade Mixon for Pierce question, if you have Mixon, I would try to ask for Pierce plus on the name recognition of Mixon.
Yep. And drop like he was RB2 last year and all that stuff. So
right, he was a top 5 running back last year. He's done it before behind bad offensive lines. State your case for him if in this scenario that we
absolutely
talking about.
Cali Loco, need a flex and a running back and running back depth. The rosters Perrine, Michael Carter, Deion Jackson, Madison available. Oh, that's on your roster right now. Available: Hill, Thornton, Nico Collins, Denver tight end Dulcich. You were looking at Hill, no Edwards.
No, if you're looking at a flex of these options, I might as well. I'll just go with Nico Collins, 65 and 82 receiving yards the past 2 weeks before the bye week, going against the Raiders. Nothing scary about that matchup. I would just go Nico.
And if I'm picking up 2 of those players, it's both of the wide receivers. It's not Hill. I'm not a huge fan on Hill.
No. If Carter's available, he's interesting, but as an insurance policy, not as a guy that you could flex with.
I think Carter's on his roster. Roster running backs: Perrine, Carter, Deion, Madison. Available: Hill, Thornton, Nico, Denver, TD. I'm guessing.
Well, then grab Nico and drop Perrine unless you have Mixon. And
Yes.
if you have Mixon, then drop Dion.
Yes.
For Nico.
And there you go, Xavier, making that
There you go.
transition.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah. I mean, look, he's going to be – it's a potential shootout, and he just got Christian McCaffrey. Also a revenge game against the Chiefs from the Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
In full PPR, would you trade away Keenan Allen for A.J. Dillon and Rashad Bateman?
Receive A.J. Dillon and Rashad Bateman. Trade away Keenan Allen.
I think that's real even.
That looks even. It depends on who your other wide receivers are, Kyle. Like, can you stomach losing Keenan Allen, or is he your wide receiver?
And it depends on what your running back depth looks like. Do you need A.J. Dillon right now, or can you make it work without him?
Right. Like, what's the rest of your line? What's the rest of your roster look like, just for some context?
Mark Grefford, you traded Debo for Amon-Ra, L or dub? It's, I mean, right now, it's an L. We'll see. If Amon-Ra comes back full strength, then it's about a wash. I don't know if it's ever going to be a dub, but right now, I need to see Amon-Ra come back and command another 12 targets. Do I think he will? Yeah. So I think in a week, you're going to be looking at it like a wash. But right now,
I think it's fine.
I think it's a slight L. Slight.
It feels, I mean, on paper, it feels like an L, but Amon-Ra was putting up wide receiver 1 numbers prior to the injury. So, whereas Debo has been healthy and good recently. So that's why it feels that way. But honestly, I think it's fine. I think it's okay.
I think it's a wash at the end of the day. In a week, it'll be a wash.
I think it's fair. I think it'll end up being fair. I think it'll wind up being fair.
And Nezzy, I would agree. It's not with somebody like Jerry Jeudy. You need Pittman or Mike Williams at least. Your cousin is wrong.
Yeah, no. Jeudy doesn't get it done just because it's one quarterback. Don't give up a guy who's especially coming off a great game. Burrow dozed last week.
But I like you trying to see if you can move away from Burrow because you have Tua and Tyreek. So continue to try and do that, but do not settle.
Yeah.
Don't settle.
You can keep trying, but yeah. If you can get Pittman, great. If you can get Mike Williams, great. But I'm not doing it for Jeudy. No way.
And Zachary Hugh, tough question. Rank Olave, D-Hop, and CD rest of season PPR.
They're
all in the same tier.
Yeah, I think they're in the same tier. Well, Olave will take a hit if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry come back both. But even then,
D-Hop takes a little bit of a hit when Marquise Brown comes back. Yeah, it is. They're all in the same tier for me right now. CD just got his QB1 back, but you can't argue with Olave getting 14 targets a game. But so's D-Hop now too, and CD will now with a better quarterback. They're all in this. Like if they're all, there'd be like 7, 8, 9 or something like that. It's real close. I don't even know if I can rank them rest of season.
They're all very strong options.
Yep.
If there's a way to get them all in your lineup every week, you're doing it.
Yep. I know that doesn't help with your question, but there you go. And Nezzy, you are very welcome. Don't settle.
They're all top 15 options rest of season minimum.
Yep. Agreed.
They're all real good.
But we are to the end of the chat here. Again, we have a live stream tomorrow, 10 a.m. ESTs for any of you newcomers. Thank you again for all your questions. Thank you for the supers at the beginning of the stream from Rico and from, was that Mike?
Mike, yep.
Yep. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the likes. Scott Sharp, one last question. Mooney or Boyd full PPR? Mooney. Latavius Murray or Jamal Williams? Mooney. Detroit.
I don't know what that. I mean, if that's Jamal Williams,
playing Jamal Williams over Latavius
Murray. Yeah, and Mooney over Boyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mooney and Jamal Williams.
Right, but like John said, we have our stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. If any other questions come up, if you want to keep the conversation going, you can join our Discord. Third link in the description of this video and all of our recent videos. Evergreen invite. Join a great community of people to talk shop, talk fantasy with. And then, of course, if you like what you see from the channel, we offer memberships. And that's the first link in the description of this video. You can get some details there. If you are interested, We offer members-only streams throughout the week during the season on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Practice squad level membership gets you access to those streams. No other perks, but they do give you access to those additional streams each week with us. 99 cents a month. If I say so myself, I think that's a pretty good deal if you want some extra time with us throughout the fantasy season.
And Roman, lastly, I think you can roll with James Robinson this week. But thank you, everybody.
Yes.
And we will
James
see you hopefully tomorrow bright and early. And if not, good luck with your matchups. And